This podcast is brought to you by the Mice Pod. Mice Pod. At micechat.com and micepod.com.
Greetings, Universal fans. It's time for the unofficial Universal Orlando podcast, discovering more about the Universal Orlando Resort as well as Universal Studios Hollywood, Japan, and Singapore.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the unofficial Universal Hollywood podcast.
And happy 4th of July to all of our American listeners.
Yep, this is a very special edition of the podcast, and we hope you enjoy it.
Yep, well, we thought for Independence Day this year we would try something different, so we hope you enjoy hearing about the other coast.
We do indeed. So let's let everyone know what we've got coming up in this special episode.
Yep, we will start, as we normally do in our Orlando one, but with the Universal Hollywood news.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and then we're going to bring Scott Smith on the show to discuss the new Transformers ride.
That's right, and then we're going to invite listener Andy DiGenova onto the show to talk about a recent trip of his to Universal Hollywood.
And we'll then finish up inviting the Season Pass podcast's Doug Barnes on the show to talk about his experience of the grand opening of the Transformers attraction.
Awesome, on with the show.
Recently, Universal Hollywood announced they'll be building a Hollywood version of Universal Orlando's Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Universal announced that the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios Hollywood will be as impressive as what is being created in Orlando, and is expected to transform tourism in Los Angeles for decades to come. It'll be a fully immersive environment for the entire family that brings the stories of Harry Potter to life and is faithful to the visual landscape of the films, including a majestic Hogwarts castle to serve as the centrepiece of the themed environment. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter at Universal Studios Hollywood will be created with the same commitment to authenticity, the same level of talent and resources as its Orlando counterpart. It will also include the Forbidden Journey ride. The exact opening of the attraction has not been announced, but it's expected to begin construction in late 2012 and be open by 2015.
No, we don't know this park that well, but it'd be interesting.
At all? Really?
Hunter, you've been. This is actually why I'm quite glad that Hunter's managed to join us for the news on this show, because you've actually been, haven't you, Hunter?
Yeah.
How do you think this will fit in?
It wouldn't be on the... Well, the way Universal Hollywood's divided, there's an upper lot and a lower lot.
Yeah.
The lower lot is what has The Mummy, now Transformers, as well as Jurassic Park. The upper lot has, The Simpsons, and quite a few other things, Shrek, and that's also where you board the
Tram tour.
world-famous tram tour. Yeah.
The pulling down, there's a theatre there, isn't there? I can't remember what it's called, and they're pulling that
The
down.
Special Effects Theater.
It's where, wasn't the Grammys or some presentation there a couple of weeks ago, some major film, or it was some movie thing, some movie awards that was there a couple of weeks ago.
Was it the MTV Movie Awards?
Might have been. And
I'm not sure. That was just my guess. I'm not exactly sure. Honestly, I think when the Wizarding World comes, it'd be on the upper lot, but
I don't know. It will look weird because it's. I mean, from what I can gather, it's not like a themed place like Orlando is.
It's not. It's just place to place to place. It makes me.
So it's like a building? Is it enclosed in a building? Other than the tram tour? Huh?
The tram tour?
No, other than the tram tour, is the rest of the place like enclosed in a building? Because when you say like the upper deck and the lower deck, it makes me think of like a building or like a parking garage.
Exactly. It's an upper deck because it's on a very like hilly area, right? And then you actually, to get to the lower and the upper lots, you'll actually have to go down about 3 separate escalators, very tall escalators.
Oh no!
Down to the bottom lot, or you can walk. Take the stairs.
Yeah, I don't do escalators anymore.
No.
Maybe this is what's going to change it then, and eventually they'll try to theme it a bit more like the Orlando parks and get away from it being just the tram tour.
Well, Hollywood's is still an actual running studio and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does have people filming. For instance, we were actually when I was there, we were on the Desperate Housewives set where they were going to actually be filming later that day.
Oh, that's cool.
And that is pretty cool because you actually got to go down. I know we've got fans that are going to curse loudly at their iPods. I can't remember the name of the street, though.
Wisteria Lane.
Wisteria Lane. Oh.
Exactly. So we drove down Wisteria Lane. In our
on the
and
podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be interesting to see.
I'm still very torn about Wizarding World at Universal Studios Hollywood, though.
Well, we mentioned this on the show the other week, and I brought up the fact that I knew you'd be quite disappointed, especially now they're bringing it to Japan as well. I know that you were quite an advocate of wanting it to be the one and only.
Japan nearly as much as Hollywood. I do, but it's that mentality. But at the same time, I don't mind Japan nearly as much as I do Hollywood.
Because it's in a different country.
Hollywood. No, not even that. It's just I've seen Hollywood, and I don't think it works well for the dynamic of the park.
Right. Or it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Plus, Japan's, across the world. So that's a bit different, I guess.
Yeah. Cool. So,
listen to him complain.
Right, yeah, I've never even been.
No, I mean, how many hours does it take us?
Yeah. To get over there, I'll tell you. So the next one is we've heard that the rumour mill is rampant at Universal Hollywood, that Terminator 2 3D will close before the end of the year, and the potential replacement is a clone of the soon-to-open. Actually, when this goes out, it will be open. Officially, no, it's second, isn't it? Yeah. So it will be officially open, of Universal Orlando's Despicable Me, Minnie and Mayhem. As I said, nothing's been confirmed yet, and we will wait to see if it happens. If it does, we think this could also spell the end of the Terminator attraction at Orlando 2, which then that's going to boost those rumours that Transformers is going to end up over there.
Yeah.
You get the feeling, though, from seeing Terminator at Hollywood. Terminator Hollywood wasn't really well taken care of when I was over there. Like, it kind of seemed like an attraction on its last legs as it is. Meanwhile, I was just at Terminator last week when I saw Despicable Me. Terminator still in Orlando is actually still very well upheld for the most part.
Yeah.
I do think the show itself is getting outdated, but I think the attraction, they do take care of it. And they do promote the attraction pretty well still.
I don't think it's a surprise that they'll be wanting to put Despicable Me in there again, like we've said recently on the show, that it's one of their. There's no right to pay for it or anything. It's there. They own the IP rights for it, don't they? Cool. Hunter.
So the latest attraction open at Universal Hollywood was Transformers the Ride in 3D, with the grand opening on Friday, May 25th. The ride is based on the Michael Bay movies and contains all the characters that you love from those movies, and also contain EVAC, an all-new character created especially for this attraction, which is your ride vehicle. If interested, you can buy a toy version of EVAC. The ride is very similar to the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man attraction at Universal's Islands of Adventure.
Now, the interview that we've got coming up after this news with Scott Smith, we'll delve way deeper than I expected to go into Transformers folklore anyway, but have you two seen any of the videos for it?
Absolutely. The attraction is absolutely massive.
It looks... Tracy, well, you know from being on the podcast, Tracy's always said she wasn't
been really down on it, haven't I?
And we watched it on HD on the TV the other day, and she was like, oh my god, it looks amazing.
It really does.
I think I've said this before, and I say it again. I think it very much is the Indiana Jones and dinosaur mentality. You can have two rides with the same systems, but they can be totally different.
Yeah. Darren,
and that's why I think we can have Transformers over at Universal Studios.
What did you reckon? You've seen it, have you, Darren?
Actually, no.
You haven't? You need to go and watch it. It looks stunning.
Oh, I want to go there someday, and I don't want to have watched it on YouTube, but I guess I will.
We did it purely for the interviews stuff that we were doing for this podcast, but it does look amazing.
Yeah,
they're like 80 foot. I think something like 40 or 50 foot IMAX screens. There's one bit where Optimus Prime rolls up in front of you. and transforms, and he's stood obviously 40 feet high in front of you all looking up at him. Just amazing. To say the interview that's coming after this with Scott, we'll delve into a bit more, and hopefully we'll talk to Andy for the trip report as well, and he'll go into it a bit more as well. But it does look amazing.
Good deal. Okay, and for those interested in what you may find at this year's Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Hollywood, the HHN Overlord has been tweeting hints and code names on the official Horror Nights Twitter. You can search back for past hints, but the current list of 5 maze code names released for the 2012 event is as follows. Number 1, The Smiths. Number 2, Classic Cowboy. Number 3, Dante. Number 4, Amok. And number 5, Carpenter. What all these equate to, we don't know. All will be revealed in the future.
Hang on, so what do you reckon? Come on then, Darren, you're the Halloween Horror Nights expert.
Well, are these like 5 separate mazes?
I assume so.
Yeah.
Well, can I just say the Smiths? It's going to be people dressed up as Morrissey
No one else
hitting you with
I don't know
gladioli.
what you're talking about now, is it?
Our English listeners will.
Walking through a maze, and it's just a screen of Morrissey, like, verbally abusing you.
We know what the Smiths are over
Fair
here.
enough, sorry. I do apologise.
It's only
Yeah,
Lee who's
Morrissey.
not familiar with the Smiths because he was too cool for school.
The crap.
Uh-uh.
Classic
Meet you at the cemetery gates.
Well,
they
Dante,
Did Universal do Cowboys vs. Aliens?
It's funny, that's what went through my head,
Oh,
and I
that could
think they
be.
possibly did.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe.
Universal, what was it?
Did they do Cowboys vs. Aliens?
Yeah, that's their film.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think Dante and Carpenter.
Yeah, it's got to be John Carpenter, hasn't it? You would have thought.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I
Dan-
thought Dante
Dante's
was-
Inferno.
Dante's Inferno, yeah.
Oh no, what I'd like to see in there's Devil May Cry.
Could be worse. It could be Dante's Peak.
Let's see. Clerks.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Clerks Haunted House featuring Dante. It's all in black and white.
I love it.
Yeah.
And James
Could you
Silent Bob as the
imagine just
greetings
having-
outside.
The only horror aspect is the dead guy on the toilet.
That would be cool.
Yeah, Amok, I have no
Lasagna
idea.
splattered on the wall.
Yeah. Wasn't Amok a Marvel villain?
Hey,
Isn't he like the weird-
Darren.
Isn't he that
Oh.
weird little floaty thing that's in Marvel Superhero? And looks like a
and
little dude on a...
yeah, the little looks like a little alien on the little flying saucer type thing.
He's just in like a metal body,
Yeah.
looks like a bean, like a baked bean.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's
Well-
a mock.
Amok means mad with uncontrollable rage,
Yep.
according to Wiki. So it's a word that would fit with
Can you imagine going through the?
Yeah.
Could you imagine going to the house and then all the actors are just in your ear whispering 37?
You're not allowed to leave until you say it in a row.
It's interesting. There's
You know,
nothing really.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think, like I said, I think we'll probably see Cowboys vs. Aliens one, and I think that would actually be really cool for a house idea.
I really need the Smiths now to be Morrissey.
Yeah, for Carpenter, I want to see Lord of Illusions. I don't think they'll go that far back into the archives, but that would be awesome.
Is he still alive, John Carpenter?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's probably going to be vampires, isn't it?
perhaps.
He hasn't
That
done
seems
anything for a long
popular
time, has
thing.
he?
Carpenter's done a lot of things, so
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
a lot
he
of
has.
possibilities, and it might just be like a new thing that's that
Could be a montage,
is
couldn't
just
it?
a house that he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Very interesting.
very.
So, I can't wait for some tips for the Orlando one.
Yeah.
Right. Well, on with the first interview.
As one of the topics on this, our first Universal Hollywood show, we thought we'd talk about the park's newest attraction, and that is Transformers: The Ride 3D.
Yep, and joining Tracy and I on the show to discuss the attraction is huge theme park and Transformers fan, WDWNT's very own Scott Smith. Hey, Scott, thanks for joining us.
Hello there. I'm
there.
very glad to join you guys. I'm very excited to talk about. I've been waiting since I was a little kid going to Disney World for a Transformers ride. Back when Beast Wars was the show of the time.
Yep.
Now, Lee, myself, and Scott haven't ridden the ride, but we've all acquainted ourselves with YouTube videos of it, so we're going to talk about what we think of the attraction, how we feel it fits into Universal Hollywood, the theming, and the movie it's based on, and then to finish up, we're going to talk about whether we think it would fit into either the Orlando parks and where.
So go on then, Scott. When you first heard they were making an attraction based on, and I'm going to put it in quotes, the Michael Bay movies, what was your opinion?
Well, at this point, I think it was announced after Revenge of the Fallen, which is the second movie, came out. So, and it made a boatload of money, whether people liked it or not. So I knew if there was a ride coming out, it was going to be based on the franchise. So that wasn't a surprise to me. I was ecstatic to learn that there would be a Transformers ride because I'll just say right now, I know there's a lot of people who are Transformers fans that don't think you're a Transformer fan if you like the movies. So I'll say I loved the first one because I thought it was, epic and it had a lot of air of excitement and build up to it. And, it wasn't perfect, but it offered a great place to go. Mm-hmm. And it was a nice, simple movie. I loved the first one. Second one was a bad movie. I know ifs, ands, and buts about that. I like parts of it. Like I like the forest fight, that one scene. And I like a lot of the robots in it, like Devastator and Sideswipe. And I like Dark of the Moon too, but again, the story's pretty dumb, but some cool robots, cool action scenes. So I was actually excited because as a theme park fan, I want to ride something where I'm in the world of Transformers, where I'm immersed in these robots. Especially says, it's funny how initially when because I followed the first movie lead up before it was, when the movie was just announced, and a lot of people were on tabletops and soapboxes like these look awful, these don't look like what they should look like. But then everyone kind of shut up when they were in motion because forget Michael Bay, he's a jerk, but the people at ILM really made these things work. And really made these things exist. So, I want to be in the world where, these things exist. I want to be, the guy that is with them. And the best things about theme parks is immersion. And so they announced it. I was ecstatic. I'm like, and you figured it was going to be the Spider-Man technology. They didn't say that in the ride, but I think we all knew. Or did they say that in the article? I don't think. Did they? They might have.
I'm trying to think how long we've known about it, and
it was announced in 2009, so it was about. I don't know if we knew it was Spider-Man at the time, but
to be honest, for them, we hadn't been doing the podcast then, so we weren't as heavily involved in Universal at the time, so possibly not.
Well, that's the ironic thing is I was heavily involved via Transformers sites. They announced it, and the Transformers sites is where I first learned about it. And the ironic thing there is most Transformers fans did not give a crap. And throughout the development, first off, I don't know if you guys knew, but Michael Bay went on again, to prove what a jerk he went on a tirade about the ride, saying that they didn't consult him and I hope Optimus Prime doesn't work with anybody. Literally went on record as saying that, saying that they did not have his support. And obviously that changed. They went to him and said whatever they needed to say to get him to turn because he was there at the opening and stuff. Yeah. So they obviously said what they needed to, but they announced it, and then he went on a tirade about how they didn't have his support. And then it
Can I just ask, is Michael Bay the creator of them?
No, he's not.
So surely it's not.
I didn't think so. So I mean,
it'd be those particular images of them, won't it?
Baloney. That's what he thinks, but baloney. There was a quote saying about something where he did something stupid. I think it was renaming because there's a guy in I think it was about this. I'm not 100%, but there was something where he renamed the cat like Wheeljack in the movie. He renamed it Q in the third movie because I don't know why. And he was saying something, and the people were like, "This isn't." Right, Hasbro has them as Wheeljack, and the Ferrari was listed as Mirage, and he called it Dino in the movie, which is, that's a real robot name, Dino. Hasbro already had these on the packages, and it had this in the comics, and Michael Bay's little web troll, the guy who runs his website, was like, "These are Michael Bay's babies. He lets Hasbro make toys of them." And no, 1,000 times no. Hasbro owns these and lets Michael Bay.
Yeah.
And the problem is Hasbro still has to kowtow to him because they bring him a crap load of money, so they let him run his mouth. But I really wish Hasbro would stand up and be like, "You're fired." Yeah. he can't because as long as he keeps bringing in the money, from a business standpoint, I can understand. But no, they're not his. But either way, they went to him and they said, we're sorry, and he's eventually turned around on it. But BotCon 2011, because I was at the BotCon, the Visual Transformers convention. That's how much of a Transformers nerd I am. 2010 was actually in Walt Disney World. Ironically, it was in the Dolphin. They did not have anything on it. So at that point, I'm like, I wonder what's really going on. Because they had construction photos on Screamscape and everything, but it was basically just clearing the backdraft site. Nothing like definitive. But then in 2011, they showed like half the ride at the Hasbro panel, and there was no report on it.
Wow.
No one cared in the Transformers fandom. And I'm like, I want to know. I really want to know what this ride is.
You would think something like that people would want to, like you said, Scott, being able to immerse yourself in that world.
Ironically, they don't care. Most of the hardcore Transformer fans don't like the movies at all and mostly buy the toys. I mean, I'm generalizing here, but they mostly buy the toys to make fun of them. And, in fact, the only thing they mentioned about at the one podcast I used to listen to, they laughed about how Devastator eats you and then poops you out. I'm like, no. And they were like, oh, that's a great ride. And like anything else, they're like, something with Ravage and something like that. I'm like, oh, damn it. And honestly, until the building, until it opened in Singapore, that's the Universal.
Yeah.
Singapore. Yes. Until it opened at Singapore, they didn't care. And then, but then it opened in Singapore and I didn't know anything about it until it was enclosed and they started building the evac robot outside and it was close to opening. So I went for a long time not knowing anything about it. And I know what I would have loved to have done. And I think they hit the nail pretty well on the head. I mean, I would have done a simulator attraction like that. Exactly. And there was, I wonder why it took so long because it took them the time to build it, the same time it took them to make the third movie. Because Bay makes movies like a train. He just plows right through.
Yeah.
He comes in on time, whether you think he's a good movie or and he's not, but he comes in on time and under budget. So it was weird that this is clearly a second movie ride released after the third movie. So,
yeah.
There are things I would have done differently. I would have maybe, included more Autobots or maybe would have made more unique Decepticons to the ride instead of reusing the ones from the movie. But, for the most part, it looks great. I think it looks really great. I really want to ride it very, very badly.
I would assume that Michael Bay must have put some of the money towards it then.
Yeah, he might probably put some of the money towards it too. But you can see they saved a little because there are all of the bad guys that you basically get rid of are reused from the second movie.
Yeah,
because I don't know. I took notes on how this could work in continuity, but so I don't know if you want me to go into that. But the car Decepticon is basically. I don't know why they didn't use Soundwave from the third movie, because he turns into a car. Oh, that's why. Sorry, I just answered my own question while I was talking. Because the fact that Soundwave was supposed to be the woman's car was supposed to be a surprise. It wasn't, but I guess that's why they didn't use it. But I would have, because then it would have fit into the third movie. Because I remember when this opened, or when this was getting close to opening, actually it was getting in some of the movie magazines, like Entertainment Weekly. And they were all having a good laugh, and they're like, while you're waiting in line, you can figure out what the story is and everything. And I'm like, okay, yeah, ha, ha, ha. But but there is a question as to where it takes place in continuity. And now most people say, who cares? It's a Michael Bay movie, and he doesn't care about continuity, which is true. But what I like most about the movie franchise is actually the sort of plot hole-ish nature of Michael Bay's writing allows for a lot of great side fiction. Particularly, if you guys want to be real, any of your listeners want to be real nerds, look up Reign of Starscream by Chris Mowry. It's a comic that takes place right after the first movie, ties up all the first movie plot holes,
right,
and is a really great character examination of Starscream, which the Decepticons got zero character in the first movie. So Chris Mowry did this really great comic. And then John Barber came in, and he wrote the prequel novels for Dark of the Moon, the third movie. And he went back. He wrote this book called Sector 7 by John Barber. And what he did is he detailed the creation of that Sector 7 organization from the first movie, which wasn't even in the second two movies. So he went back for no reason. What he did is he tied Sector 7 in the first movie to the old Decepticon Jetfire in the second movie.
Which I thought was awful.
Well, I don't have a problem with his design. I have a problem when he's farting parachutes and, being
just like a really old, decrepit Scottish guy. It was just,
I didn't hate his voice because that was the guy's voice.
Yeah.
That was his voice. He wasn't putting on really like an old man voice. He was just sort of talking, but he was doing kind of
it's like an old fart, basically.
Yeah, that's the problem. Because if you look at like Sentinel Prime, I'm not even going to go that big into Transformers lore. I'll just go within the movies. Sentinel Prime, Leonard Nimoy is an old grizzled too, but he was a badass.
Yeah.
Like that was what Jetfire should have been, because he was supposed to be. And that's the thing. Again, Chris Mallory wrote, there was a thing called Tales of the Fallen, and I'm getting really deep into Transformers, not just the ride, so I apologize to your listeners. But there was a right after Revenge of the Fallen came out, there were 6 issues of a comic called Tales of the Fallen, which basically covered up plot holes. And one of them was about Jetfire, and Chris Mallory wrote what the heck Jetfire was doing, and back when he was actually like had a purpose. And then John Barber went back and, there's only so much you can fit in one comic. So John Barber wrote 6 issues from different time periods. He wrote a Bonnie and Clyde story. He wrote like a Cold War thing. And it tracked Jetfire from going from a Decepticon to respecting humankind and where he would be in the second movie. And it was just John Barber actually gave a crap about continuity. So I don't think you can look at The Ride. And I think The Ride is another example of a great story that you can tell within the movie universe because the movies themselves are so loose.
Yeah.
Case in point, Ravage, and everyone's like, "Oh, this take place after movie 3 or after movie 2?" And I would say after movie 2, because after movie 3. By the way, spoilers. If any of your listeners haven't seen the last third movie,
yeah, don't bother watching it.
I'm gonna spoil it. I guess I
don't think you can.
Sentinel Prime's a badass. I guess I was already kind of a spoiler. Surprise, he's actually a traitor. What happens in third movie, Bay said this was his last movie. Of course it didn't, because he saw dollar signs and no one else was interested in his career, because didn't he make another movie that like totally tanked? And then he made another movie that totally tanked. It's like, well, I'm doing Transformers 4 now, because Transformers, the movies sucked, but Transformers does have 2 decades of fiction behind it, with some really great stories in it, mostly in the comic books, and also within Transformers Animated was a great show, and Beast Wars was a great show too. So look those up. Beast Wars is instant streaming on Netflix, great show. But after that's where I was. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. The third movie, Bay kind of wrapped everything up, making sure no one would be able to follow him by killing everyone. Like, Megatron died, Starscream died, Soundwave died, Shockwave died, which are basically the 4 main Decepticons. And then he blew up Cybertron by sucking it into a hole. So Bay, ironically, made sure no one could add to his franchise. So following the third movie is you'd have to invent a reason why Megatron's still alive and Starscream's still alive, so that's kind of out of the realm of possibility. But the second movie, you can say this is a setup for the third movie, and I'll tell you why. Initially, and I even scene by scene, ride opens with where Ravage, the Jungle Cat, takes the Allspark, and everyone's saying, "Oh, what are you talking about? Bumblebee killed Ravage in the second movie." True, but here's the ironic thing: Bay, and another example of doing what Bay does, decided last minute to kill Ravage, because he was originally supposed to survive the movie. And ironically, Bay said, "No, let's kill him." Therefore, screwing over every piece of fiction that was supposed to take place after the second movie. So that's that Tales of the Fallen thing comes in. They had to make an issue all explaining why Ravage was alive in the sequel comic, because Bay went ahead and killed him. So before the third movie, Ravage was still alive. So it makes sense that he'd still be running around. Now, I think Bumblebee kills him again in the ride, so that would explain why he's not in the third movie. But then the next scene is when Bumblebee's killing Ravage, and a car Decepticon comes up behind him. That guy is called Sideways, and he was the guy who was killed by Sideswipe. I know, confusing.
Oh, yeah.
And the wings on the feet and the swords. He, was clear a path, and he did this really cool acrobatic move and cut the guy in half. He literally split the other car down in half. Clearly, he died, but here he's alive. Also, we see a helicopter guy later in the ride, and he was killed. He was killed in the first movie, and then he was killed again in the second movie.
Wasn't that Blackout?
Blackout, yes, was killed exactly. It was the same body, and I'll basically that is my point. Blackout was killed in the first movie, and yet he shows up in the second movie as part of the
Okay.
thing. Hasbro, since the days of the 80s, has been reusing Transformer bodies to make new characters. And what did they do when he showed up again in the second movie? They repainted the toy and gave him a new name. And they called him Grindor. So technically, in the second movie, that was Grindor, not Blackout. Now, did the ILM animators think about that? No. Did Bay think about that? Certainly not. But, there's Hasbro covering Bay's mistake. And that, in essence, explains how all these guys are still alive in the ride. They're different people, So this is not Sideways. This is another guy. This is not Blackout or Grindor. This is a different helicopter. Sideswipe fights Bone Crusher on the highway. That's a different guy. And at the second movie, they had this spaceship with all these hatchlings on it that never showed up in movie 3. So it stands to reason that they basically exhausted all the hatchlings on the spaceship, sending them down to Earth to get this secret piece of the Allspark. And again, it's not out of the realm of possibility that there would be another piece we didn't know about, considering that it was just like a piece on Sam's clothes that no one knew about. So it stands to reason that there would be another piece somewhere. And same thing with Devastator. Everyone's like, oh, wait a second. Devastator was killed by the magical railgun that the Navy had. So how is he still alive? Well, interesting enough, in the movie, Devastator is actually made out of any Constructicons that are present. It's not like in the original cartoon where there were 6 Constructicons and they made Devastator. In the movie, it can be as many or as little as 6, but it can be more because in the movie, it's more. So Devastator can be as big or as small, which actually kind of a cool idea the movie hit upon.
Yeah.
Devastator is actually only whatever, because in the Constructicons aren't really characters. They're really more kind of semi-sentient drones, which is why there were so many of them just getting blown up in Egypt. So it stands to reason that maybe they dug out some more and rebuilt a new Devastator. And so that stands to reason where that is. And that's basically it. If you explain why all these characters are alive, it can fit in between the two movies, and it makes sense. Oh, well, because Megatron's got his half a face after the second movie, and he's got his Earth body, which is cool because it was a better looking body anyway. And he was hiding, so he scanned the truck and broke cover to try and get this Allspark fragment. The only thing you need to think about is where Evac went in between movie 2 and 3, and hey, he died. No, literally in the beginning of the prequel comic to Dark of the Moon, you had all the remember that guy? Okay, this is an example of fighters covering Bay's ass. Remember when GM said we want the Volt in Transformers 2, and Bay said okay, and the Volt was like nowhere to be found, except he was at the end of the movie and he used his magical electric powers to make Optimus and Jetfire combine. That was Jolt the Volt at the end of the movie for those 3 seconds. Where did he go? Well, Bay didn't care, but obviously the writers took this opportunity of the comics took this opportunity to make Shockwave, the guy with the one eye in the third movie, seem like even more of a badass because he just basically showed up and killed all the characters that didn't show up. So Evac died. Evac was killed. Basically, that's sorry that your friend that you're writing in. If you care about continuity, then he had to die. But if you don't, hey, he went hiding. I mean, I guess he could have hidden somewhere and just decided to sit out the third movie. Maybe. If you like,
Look at that! I'm not staying there for that all carnage.
He's like, screw that. Essentially, some of them did. I mean, there were some Decepticons that like basically just didn't. The police car, that was it. The police car that was in the first movie, was actually in the third movie, and actually that was like a rare instance of. I'm sure it was the animators and not Bay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, we left this guy alive in movie 1 to give them more Decepticons, and obviously it didn't go. But then he sat out the entire second movie. So basically, he's like, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to pretend to be a police car.
Yeah.
All this going on. So sorry to go on a rant, listeners,
Right.
but if you Transformers history and how it actually fits, it does fit, and it can fit. And I mean, again, I'm sure the animators didn't think about this, but
I mean, we've talked about it on the show quite a bit because we've heard rumours that it is coming to Orlando. Whether it does or not is a different matter.
Yeah.
But there has been rumours flying around for quite a while, and Tracy had quite an opinion on it, didn't you, dear?
Yeah.
or am I jumping ahead?
It was Tracy never because we started off with Scott with it was your opinion of what you thought when you first heard about it, and Tracy's like,
Oh yes, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
go on, you went.
I was just like, yeah.
The films are crap. Don't want it.
Yeah, stuff it, basically. Yeah. I mean, saying the films are crap, the films would have been much better without some of the cheesy little crappy elements that really annoyed me, that didn't need to be in it.
The Transformers has always had humor, but you're absolutely right. I mean,
there was a few little things like that.
Frenzy, the little
Frenzy,
ghetto blaster in the first one.
I hated that so much. It spoiled the whole movie.
I didn't mind Frenzy in the first movie, and you didn't know what you were in for until Wheelie came along in the second movie.
It's just that annoying little bit when he gets off the plane and sort of covering his face and
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah, that's it.
The worst is the useless characters that are in there for humor, like Skids and Mudflap. I won't elaborate on them, but they were completely useless to the story. Whereas RC, the female motorcycle, some of the only female Transformers in existence, they're barely in it. Because it's no secret, Revenge of the Fallen, the second movie, Bay went ahead and shot in the middle of a writer's strike without a script. Because he's a jerk like that. And he's like, I'm going to get my movie in on time instead of worrying about making a good movie. So, and honestly, the humor really is awful, especially that in the third movie, the whole Jerry Wang bit, I just had to be like, oh, God. Because honestly, the third movie was doing okay. Yeah. It was like, okay, I'm going with you. John Malkovich is dumb, but he's okay. He's in little doses. I'm going with you. And then this Jerry Wang bit came. I'm like, oh, we dropped the ball. Yeah. But the most offensive thing in the second movie, this has nothing to do with the ride, is the whole completely dropped thing of the woman who's actually a Decepticon that doesn't go anywhere and doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's like, we need to capture Sam, but then we're going to kill him. And it's like, what were you even trying to do except be gratuitous? Like, this is awful. So I agree with you that I'm not going to – I like parts of the second and third film, and I did like the first movie. But hey, I like the toys and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna. If you're gonna say oh, the humor was crap, it mostly was. So
well, I'm all for little bits of humor to break up tension, stuff like that. Yeah. But when it destroys the integrity,
it is a toy movie, so you can't have not humor at all.
Exactly.
But I mean, I'm not expecting Shakespeare, and I think the ride is the perfect example. If I can jump ahead a little bit, of this is what it should be. This is Megatron being evil and Starscream being, and Prime being the big hero. And it's just, it's Bumblebee being cute, kind of. And then, it's just, and it's action. It's hardcore action. That is one thing the movies did do right. It brought a more intense level of action to Transformers that we've never seen before. I mean, there was maybe some fights in Beast Wars, but then the first movie is really where stuff started, except for the comic books, because you can do whatever you want in a comic book. But in terms of motion, that's when stuff started breaking and pieces started coming off, and that's cool because this is a war. I mean, that's I mean, of course, that was kind of lost in the movie. I mean, you have a line from Prime here and there. It's like, oh, so many generations lost. Anyway, but that is where they got it right, and that is where the ride gets it right.
Yeah, they took all the best bits. They've got rid of the fat, as it were, and used.
Yeah, there's no humor. There's no humor except for which is what you hated, except for maybe Starscream, just dropping in. I'm like, okay, whatever.
That's all right. Yeah. That's not cheesy. That's just a bit of humor, isn't it?
Yeah, that's something he would say, because especially if you're going with the original Starscream, that's something he would say.
Well, as we said there, Tracy's never been. She's always wanted, like I've said, I watched the video on YouTube of it ages ago, and I'm like, you'll have to, I'm not interested. I'm not interested in the slightest, didn't you? I'm not bothered. Just don't want it.
Yeah, I've seen the films, it just totally killed any interest I had in it at all.
So then, obviously, because we were deciding to do this show and we were going to talk to you about it, Scott, I made her sit down, I put my through the telly so we could sit and watch it properly in HD, and sat at the end of it and went, "Oh my god, that is amazing!"
My jaw was on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's cool robots. It's cool robots done by ILM with cool action. That's what the Transformers film needed to be. And that's why I kind of like the first one. Because, there's a lot of fat in the first one that they could have gotten rid of.
Yeah.
But it's some cool action scenes that Bay couldn't shoot because he had shaky cam. And then it was cool action scenes that it was hard to make out. But then it all built the cool action scenes. And the cast was kind of small. There were 8 Decepticons and 5 Autobots. And then Revenge of the Fallen, people want more robots. Well, let's just blow the roof off with the robots. I'm like, okay, come on. Like, you didn't need that many robots, but and even the ride keeps the cast small. There's 2 Autobots or 3 in the ride itself, aside from Evac, and then Megatron and Starscream. There's Devastator and there's Ravage, but it's enough to keep track of. It's not enough that you're gonna go. And it's pretty clear to tell who the good guys and bad guys are. It's not an explosion. It's an explosion of the senses, but in a good way, not in a Devastator's got balls kind of way.
Yeah. Because from watching it, it's a lot of like one of our biggest worries about that we heard there was rumors of it going to Orlando was that everybody said it's just Spider-Man with a redo.
I completely disagree.
There are.
There are similarities, but
the end's exactly the same.
I have to go. What are you going to do? If I can get a little frank here, what are you going to do? Like, this is like Starscream's a robot that turns into, like, everyone's like, oh, look, you even fly through the city. Were you expecting not to fly through the city?
Yeah.
I mean, and the drop is the same because it worked.
Oh, it does. It's my best favorite bit in Spider-Man.
Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong. I liked Spider-Man. I love the new Spider-Man. The new Spider-Man is 10 times better. It's the Spider-Man similarities are so weak in my opinion. Oh, it's a scoop. Well, yeah, it's the same kind of ride vehicle. What do you want from them?
But
and it's like, oh, you get wet. Well, what else are you going to do? And there's you shoot a missile at. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, quite frankly, and I'm sorry if this it angers some people. What was that, Vader? Well, it made like a yawn sound. Sorry, the listeners are like, "What? He's talking to his dog. What's going on?"
No way, we talked 2 hours. It's fine.
I actually think the ride system works better for Transformers than Spider-Man because some of the scenes in Spider-Man feel a little forced. Like, I think it makes more sense for Megatron to be grabbing for you to get this piece of the Allspark you're supposed to be carrying than Doc Ock to just burst out of a random brick wall and be like, oh, look, flame! And then because you're in a robot and you're in the middle of a fight of robots and Spider-Man, like, what are they trying to do? It's like you stumble upon their plan, so then they try to kill you, but then Spider-Man stops them. I mean, call it stupid, but having the ride vehicle kind of be a character puts you in the story a little more than Spider-Man kind of just being, oh, hey, I'm Spider-Man, watch out. And again, not that Spider-Man's bad whatsoever. It's a great ride, and they make it work. But I think the system is a more natural because Spider-Man, it's not heavy-duty giant metal action. It's more finesse. I mean, you look at the way Spider-Man fights, it's more about agility and hand, like, person-to-person combat. How do you do person-to-person combat in a big, explosive way? I mean, you fire effects, you get Hydro Man in. I mean, it works, but I feel it's more forced. I actually feel that Transformers is more of a natural fit.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, actually. You've made a really good point, and you're right.
Maybe, yeah. Look at it differently.
And I know it's weird to look at it that way because Spider-Man came first, so we wouldn't have one without the other. I just think, Spider-Man is a person fighting other people. I mean, again, there's obviously superhuman, and they have superhuman abilities like turning into giant watermen, but these are bigger than life, giant, robots on giant screens, and they're stuff's breaking down. They have the Devastator can suck you in because he's massive, and the scale it just fits better in my opinion. And I can see the similarities. I'm not going to lie. They took some cues, but they were cues that worked. And I think the visual difference is going to be enough because Dinosaur and Indiana Jones are the same.
It's funny. I was just going to bring that up, but like our concern was that if it did come to Orlando, you would have, depending on where it went, because obviously everyone immediately looks at it replacing Spider-Man, but that's not what we've heard. And if we've heard it would go in the studios, and if that happened, like everyone says that Dinosaur and Indiana Jones are the exact same ride track, layout, and everything,
with different visuals around you. Yeah,
but you're talking about two rides that are in
different coasts,
complete opposite. Whereas you would be talking about two rides that would be
neighboring parks,
literally 10 minutes apart.
You're right, and it's hard to detach myself from this because I wouldn't care. Because I, as a fan and as an adult theme park fan, could differentiate and take the merits of both.
Yeah.
I mean, I would obviously prefer Transformers, even though I haven't read it. I'm a Transformers fan. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I've seen the video. I think I'd like that better. And I think the studios could use it because I really like Universal Studios. I love Men in Black. I think it's one of the best they've ever done, if not the best. I really, really like The Mummy. The Mummy's really, really awesome too. And I'm so looking forward to Despicable Me. I'm going to go check that out on the 26th.
We've heard some very good reviews of it.
Indeed.
I am very excited for Despicable Me because I think that should get it. I think they should get that in and get DreamWorks out. But I think that could be a really big punch because I'm not a roller coaster guy, but even roller coaster people don't love Rip, Ride, and Rocket, and that's kind of the big punch in that park.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're on the don't really love it.
I need to ride it again.
It's not like the big punch. And now that they've given you a reason to stay with Cinematic Spectacular, I really think they need to flesh out more. I mean, honestly, you're right, and the average park goer might get confused, or the average park goer might not care, because average Joe park goer isn't that observant sometimes.
I was just going to say that I don't think a lot of people take enough
You're probably
notice.
right.
So you're very right, and it's a very interesting thing to think about because there is no right answer. On one hand, it's already built, it's screens and a ride system they have, so it would be fairly easy to bring another e-ticket to the studios. On the other hand, would it affect Spider-Man? Same thing. Would Radiator Springs Racers affect Test Track? Who knows? No one's done it yet.
So.
Someone's going to be either Disney or with Radiator Springs Racers or Universal Transformers is going to be the first to do it.
Yeah.
To bring the same ride system. And it's going to be interesting to see. Because even with the same ride system, Transformers does not have the same movement as Spider-Man. It is a differently programmed simulator. So with the elevator.
It also seems to be a much longer ride.
It did seem to be a lot longer when we watched it.
I love the dead end part. I just think that's such a cool little detail. Actually go into a dead end and have to back out. So there are differences, and I think it would be really cool, and I would love it. But there is a chance it would detract from Spider-Man, and it's possible. It's possible people would be like, "This is the same ride. I'm not riding twice."
And if that happened, I think Disney would be rubbing their hands together because if the lines for Spider-Man die down,
they could jump in and get it. Well, honestly, my ideal thing would be, and I don't just say this as a Disney fan, but I would like it to replace Spider-Man only because I want Disney to do something with the Avengers. Not even a Spider-Man. I want Disney to have reign with Marvel because when Disney puts its mind to it, it makes them, obvious, they make amazing things. Yeah. And then not only would Universal get a great e-ticket, but also have the ability to do something with that land again. Because isn't one of the reasons that they don't do anything with Marvel is because they can't either? Isn't it? I think basically the two companies still
I think as far as the contract with Universal goes, they're allowed to use the characters that they currently have in the parks, and that's it.
Because I was saying if Universal's not gonna give up Marvel, then they should do something with it, especially with the Avengers being such a smash hit, and then some of the other WDWNT crew were like, no, they can't.
Yeah, I don't think they could.
And so it's a stalemate, and so I think both companies would benefit, But then there were people like, oh, this will hurt the competition, which is true, and that's a strategy. But I honestly, what would be really cool, I think, is they should replace Terminator and make Terminator a Transformers show. because I've never seen Terminator, but that has like giant robots in it, right? That like interact the stage and stuff like that.
Kind of.
It's quite scary.
Yeah,
at times. I love it, but
that's actually where we heard the rumor that Transformers was going.
Oh, maybe they'll do a Transformers 3D show. I think that would be a better idea to make it different, but still use the franchise. I don't know.
But we what we originally heard, because apparently the soundstage that Terminator 2 3D's in is quite big. There's a lot of room out the back, and that's what we heard, that they would be bringing the Transformers ride in there, and just literally exactly what it is from Hollywood.
Yeah. Now,
I wouldn't mind, but I can see where some people might be worried.
Well, much as I really, really love the Terminator ride. Well, sure, it's not really a ride, is it?
Not a show.
I think if it was replaced with Transformers, I wouldn't be disappointed.
Now you've watched the video.
Now I've seen that.
I mean, one could argue that even if it's the same ride as, even if you doubled Spider-Man, it would still like increase capacity. One could argue that any new ride would be better than, nothing. Or an old show. So especially because Terminator's got to be expensive to run. I haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
I'm planning to do when I go.
Well, it's funny because I know, like, you've talked a lot on the WDWNT about it's very much a hot button topic at the moment about having live cast members and team members as part of the attractions, and it seems to be that that's getting taken out. Now you look at Terminator 2, you have the greeter woman at the front, you've got the two people playing Sarah and John Connor, you've got the guy playing the T-1000 and the guy playing the T-800, so there's a lot of actors being employed in that attraction. So you're right, it probably does cost quite a lot to run.
I mean, that's what spelt the death knell for Jaws, which was a shame because that was an awesome ride. But
and the gas prices, I think, as well.
Yeah, the gas prices.
That was like their Jungle Cruise. That was sad. But so they might, like, even if like it gets no line, it might be a positive for them. Like, just advertising something new and not be spending the money on actors and special effects. Yeah. It might make a positive, whether they're, it increases in attendance or not. I mean, I don't know. Universal Studios is in such a really great creative thing right now, because first was Harry Potter, and I'm totally getting off topic, and I apologize to your listeners.
We usually do it.
Yeah.
Harry Potter. I'm not a fan of Harry Potter, the movies or the books myself, but man, what they did was off the charts.
Right.
Like Forbidden Journey was the first time since like Expedition Everest I was actually like, oh my god, this is like a crazy new experience. And then Transformers in Hollywood, and then Despicable Me. Even the facade of Despicable Me made me go, this is awesome.
Yeah.
This is like just the fiber optics and the minion holding the wire. And I'm like, this is amazing. So Universal is really, and then I haven't seen the parade yet, but I saw Cinematic Spectacular, and I'm like, there's a lot of love in this, and that's really cool. And so Universal's in the middle of it, so I'm really excited to see what's coming,
We've got 14 months to wait before we experience any of this.
We haven't done the Wizarding World yet.
It's killing us.
I got told off.
You haven't done Wizarding World yet?
No,
it was supposed to be open our last trip, but it was pushed back, wasn't it, by a few months?
We went November 2009 because I got told off for taking photographs over the construction walls.
Yeah, and been pushed back, hadn't it?
Yeah, so it opened about 6 months late.
It's pretty awesome. Again, for someone who's not a fan of like the movies, I mean they're well acted and well written.
Yeah.
I just find them boring. But for the ride is pretty.
We're
like
huge Harry Potter fans in our house.
That's probably like riding a Transformers ride. It would be.
Yeah. I'll say I wasn't like getting back on to, I wasn't overly struck hearing about the Transformers. Be okay. I thought the first movie was okay. I thought the second one made the first one look 100 times better.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then after sitting and watching like the HD ride through of it, even I was just like, we need that in Orlando.
Yeah.
Because it does look stunning. I mean, I know Ricky Brigante, he said like one of the biggest things for him were like the difference between Spider-Man, like you said, Scott, when you first pull up to that when Optimus Prime drives up in front of you and transforms, that's like an 80-foot HD IMAX screen, and you're looking up at it. He said it's just amazing.
That just blows you away.
which is, again, something the movies never did. It's clear Bay didn't direct the film because it's
good.
just A, it's good, and B, you really get a chance to see what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, you really get a chance to see the detail in these freaking robots, and it's really cool. This is what I love. This is I'm very excited to act out the ride with my toys when I get my evac figure. So I have every character in that ride except for evac, so I got to get them.
Are we going to see that video on YouTube?
I really need to get that.
That'll be cool.
I get my deluxe evac. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
You can get a small evac. There is a small $5 evac that's available in regular Walmarts and Targets. So
Right.
if you're a fan of the ride and can't get down to California, you can buy an evac.
We should
Now-
remember that when we're over for
Yeah,
Raymond.
also, haven't they created their own drink as well, Energon?
Yes,
John.
I need to get that too. I mean, don't get me wrong, butterbeer is delicious, but I need to drink Energon. I need to say I'm drinking Energon.
I think this
to
one's
be-
not diabetes. in
Well,
a
we're
cup
going to be
either.
talking to someone who goes quite regularly and has ridden the ride and has drinking the drink as part of a trip report after your segment, Scott, so we shall be sure to ask him what he thinks of it.
So it's not a cup of oil.
Yes.
It's supposed to be, from what I've heard...
They don't drink oil, they drink Energon.
It's supposed to
You're
be
wrong.
some sort of fruit punch, I think.
Why am I imagining it as being like a really acidy green?
I think it's
No, it's
like...
purple,
Is
actually.
it purple?
It is purple, and
Cool. There's not enough purple drinks
I'm the
about.
one who gets yelled at WDWNT for caring about Star Tours continuity, but actually that isn't continuity. Energon is purple.
Excellent.
There's two different ones, I think, Scott, because I've seen one...
Oh,
that's
is
a-
there? I've only seen the purple one.
Yeah, I think there's an orange one as well.
See, I'm completely wrong. No green.
I don't know about orange. I've never seen an orange one.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
sure, because there's like I
I
said,
wonder if that's orange flavoured.
the picture that our trip reporter sent me, he was holding, and it was orange. All right.
I mean, Optimus Prime in the original Generation 1 series had an axe that was orange, so maybe that was what they were trying to go for.
Let me
No,
see if I can find
I'm kidding. They don't.
Grasping at straws now.
Yeah.
Let me find the
You
picture.
just look for the picture.
Yeah, I'm the one who complains about the Hoth segment of Star Tours, and everyone yells at me like, who gives a crap? I
We haven't
do.
done that yet either.
That's it. Your continuity issues aside, it's an amazing ride. Star Tours is an amazing ride.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm
Sorry.
going off on tangents again.
Yeah, no, I think we've pretty much killed them, we've discussed as much as we can, haven't we, really?
It wouldn't be one of our shows without plenty of tangents.
Oh, God, yeah.
I would like this to come to Orlando. I can understand people being skittish about it, but I think it would stand on its own.
No, I
And
totally agree.
We were talking earlier. Spider-Man's days is pretty much numbered. I mean, there's no getting around it.
Yeah.
One way or another, something's gonna, something's gonna give.
Yeah, reluctantly,
Whether
I do
it's
agree with you
or
there.
at Disney, and honestly, I think it'll work out for both companies if they do. But something is gonna give. So Spider-Man's days are numbered anyway, so it's not long before. Transformers will probably be the only simulator of that type there.
Yeah, well, that's what I would say. I would quite happily have Transformers over as long as it's not replacing Spider-Man, unless it had to.
Yeah. I mean, having both would be fine. I mean, everyone wants Indiana Jones over here. And Disney says, because it's because of, go ride dinosaur. But, that's totally different.
Yeah, different story.
It's a different story. The motion of the simulator is different. And, it's different visuals. I think the fans will appreciate it. And the average Joe Park goer probably won't get it. And same thing with Radiator Springs Racers. I mean, it's the same ride system, but a different track. I mean, and different visuals. So I think if they got over their fear of having different rides with similar systems in the same park, and that's going for both companies, you could really make a lot of great rides while saving a lot of money because you're duplicating stuff. So, I mean, Men in Black and Cat in the Hat are the same ride system, aren't they? I mean,
Oh yes, yeah.
It's the exact same
Yeah.
ride vehicle.
So come on, let's bring it over.
And they
Definitely.
work side by side.
Yeah, they're very different.
Both great rides.
I love both of them.
I do.
Yes,
I do like Cat in the Hat needs a coat of paint.
Definitely.
desperately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a really greatly designed ride.
Yes.
I love Zeus Landing. Sorry, someone walked by the
Oh, don't worry about it.
I have permanent dedication of
yes.
my body to Zeus Landing.
I really love walking through Seuss Landing, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things that, like, if only this had like an e-ticket. If only this had like an e-ticket back, because Cat in the Hat is great, but it's not a weenie.
Yeah.
Should be. But
She's got a huge Dr. Zeus tattoo on her arm.
Seuss Landing is really amazing.
It's my favorite place.
I think that needs to be taken care of along. And now we're going to a general what I think of Islands of Adventure. That needs to be taken care of along with Vader. Come on. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park needs
a rocket.
Because when when Universal puts its mind to it, it's just as good as Disney. I mean, there's a lot of the same people.
Well,
I'm
that's
sure.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like we can get into. It's funny how people get into Universal versus Disney things when honestly, half of it's probably the same people.
Yeah.
and they're probably friends with each other too.
Well, yeah. You only have to look at Michael Roddy, who worked on Star Wars Weekends this year. He was Halloween Horror Night creative for about 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only people at competition are the executives, quite frankly, that want to, because good business is good business. If Harry Potter is making in my opinion, I know a lot of people are like, no, it looks awful. But I think the Fantasyland expansion looks amazing, and it's all because of Harry Potter. In my opinion, I know people are going to be like, no, but in my opinion, one of the reasons we're getting so much great stuff in Epcot, this Test Track redo, stuff like that, is Harry Potter is convincing Disney to step up its game. I mean, when Disney puts the money where its mouth is, look at Cars Land. I mean, I was not a fan of Cars Land, but you can't say it doesn't look good. And say similarly, you can't say Universal can make good stuff when they put out Wizarding World and like Despicable Me, and
exactly
they show the attention to story. I mean, there's room for everyone. There's room for all of them. What started out as a really heated rivalry, when the studios opened with the Hollywood back when it was MGM, I think there's room for both now. And I think one will encourage the other to do. In fact, I don't even think this rivalry exists in Hollywood. I don't like. I've heard that like the three parks over in Hollywood, like just don't even care that much about each other.
Just
Probably
coexist.
don't. Yeah.
I'm going to say I don't think that either set of parks would be what they are without each other.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
they'd be stagnant. If there was no Universal, Disney would be stagnant. People would just be stuck with what they got.
Exactly. In fact, Disney was stuck in stagnancy for a while until Harry Potter came out. Because I'm not a huge fan of Toy Story Mania and stuff like that.
Oh yes, I know.
As some of you may have heard. So, and but I am a huge fan of Animal Kingdom, and because of Animal Kingdom,
we love
Beautiful
Animal
park.
Kingdom.
And Islands of Adventure, it came after Islands of Adventure came after Animal Kingdom, right?
Yeah,
Just.
Yeah, so like those parks are kind of go hand in hand, and likewise, Islands of Adventure is a beautifully designed park. I don't. I think Marvel Island looks hideous personally, but Jurassic Park, Seuss Landing, what's left of Lost Continent.
Yeah.
I think they all. This was a Transformers segment. But I think as a Disney fan, we should encourage Universal to do its best. I mean, I'm not saying trash Disney, because there are people that go on both sides of the fence, and I think it's silly because this is all theme parks, and honestly, they're not going to run each other out of business at this point,
Exactly.
It's not going to happen. So we might as well cheer for the best that each company can do, and not,
We need to say that a little louder because it drives me mad that people, who are Disney fans, that I won't even consider going to Universal. The Universal fans are, Disney's a lot of tripe, and it's just, for goodness sake, just enjoy it.
Exactly.
You paid enough money to go. Just enjoy it and have fun. Appreciate it.
I was the same way. My first phone call to WDWNT, which got me hired, was complaining about Trek 4D. I mean, those opinions still stand, complaining about Trek 4D, but
You're not
That's
the only
fine.
one.
Since meeting other people on WDWNT that work for Universal, I've gone and really, you just have to appreciate it for what it is and look at the great theme. Like I don't love Universal Studios everything about it. I don't like Fievel.
No, we don't.
I think it'd be unhealthy if you did, really.
Yeah. I don't like Fievel. I think The Simpsons isn't very good, but you look at.
Oh, hang on. I don't disagree with that. Sorry, I do disagree with that. The Simpsons.
I don't like The Simpsons, right? But I'm not a big fan of the show.
Fair enough.
I'm not a big fan of the show. I mean, it's not bad. I just think
we don't like Twister.
Oh, Twister is awful, but
I thought you were going to say awesome.
I did as well.
Twister and Shrek 4D are probably the worst things there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the story and the care that went into Men in Black, that rivals some of the best Disney attractions. With the setup of the fake World's Fair, and then going into the depths and the long queue, like the Indiana Jones queue, and even then the fake ending with the what really impressed me on Men in Black with the door as you go up the stairs to get out, and there's the door with like the goodness knows where the door actually leads. Yeah, but it's got like the screen, so it looks like the aliens behind the door.
Yeah,
talking. I'm like, wow, that's a great little detail. And same thing with the Mummy. See, the problem with studios parks is they don't know what they want to be. They want to be like you're in the movie, or they want to tell a story of you're in this story. And I think the Mummy is the best example where like you start out on a movie set, and it turns out the movie set, we made it from a real tomb, and it turns out to be haunted. I love the Mummy's great too. So I think ignoring Universal and what they do when they're at their best is silly. And there's rides to go, and there's rides to enjoy. And look at Transformers, like they, relying on franchises. There people are split on that, but that's what Universal does, and when they do it well, they do it amazing.
Definitely,
and they encourage Disney to do better.
Definitely,
yeah, and they need it. Well, I think we could go on and on and on all night, couldn't we?
Yeah.
So I think we need to wrap it up.
Definitely.
Before we go off on too many tangents.
Oh, geez.
So I just want to say, sorry, Scott, go on.
I'm embarrassed.
Oh, no. I love it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So thanks very much for joining us, Scott. It's been an absolute pleasure. And even though it is Disney, would you like to plug your podcast?
It's not my podcast.
Well,
it's Tom Corliss's podcast, and I am a co-host. It is Walt Disney World News Today at wdwnewstoday.com. I have a lot of fun with the guys, all my friends. If you Universal fans want to hear about Disney, a lot of different opinions on Disney, and talk about the latest stuff going on Disney, because Disney is great. It's no favorites here. So head on over there. I also write a Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom story for WDWNT the magazine, and I think it's WDWNTthemagazine.com.
Yeah.
I know a lot of you don't like the attraction. It really has nothing to do with the attraction, so check it out. And you can, if anyone wants to email me and have any discussion about theme parks, I have an email address especially for listeners at wdwscottsmitty@gmail.com. Feel free to drop me a line.
Cool.
Lovely.
Brilliant. It's been an absolute pleasure, Scott.
It really has.
It's wonderful to be on here.
You're more than welcome.
You guys are awesome, and I've had a great time.
Cool.
Excellent.
Cheers, Scott.
Good to hear. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Now, bye.
Welcome back to Super Bowl 46, live 3D.
Humans, you are in grave danger. The Decepticons have taken over. We need your help. Earthling, soon you will all perish.
Transformers The Ride. Ride it at Universal Studios Hollywood.
So, welcome everyone to our first ever trip report from Universal Hollywood.
Yep, it's a park that none of us three know much about.
Yep, so we'd like to welcome stand-up comic Andy. Okay, I'm going to totally butcher your last name here because they didn't tell me. They never do. DiGenova? Is that right?
You are correct.
All right. All right. Welcome to the show here.
Thank you. Hello, Darren, Tracy, Lee, and everyone in Internet Land.
Yes, unfortunately, Hunter's not with us. As you know, he's being a traitor.
Yes, he's turned to our side, and so I just have to say, nana nana boo boo. Sorry.
He needs to come back to the dark side.
Right, I've got the first one. Andy, are you ready?
I am ready. I've got my cheat sheet of the questions you guys sent me. So I felt like I was studying for a test. I got it ready to go. And then you guys can ask me totally different things and confuse me, and I'll just
That's
make
the
shit.
plan.
Well, I've got something I'm going to throw in there that hasn't been mentioned yet. So.
Excellent. I'm ready and excited.
So this is a little bit of a different one from usual, because most people we do trip reports with on our show are usually sort of once every now and again trips, whereas Andy, being a local, you tend to go more often. So we'll start off with the first is, when did you last go, and who did you go with?
All right. Last time I went was about 3 weeks ago. It was June 3rd. It was a Sunday, and I went with my girlfriend and a good friend of ours. Because I'm an annual pass holder. Every year they send the annual pass holders one comp ticket for someone. So we brought my friend who wanted to go and ride Transformers, and before it expired.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Very cool.
So how long were you at the parks for?
This time it was just a few hours. We'd had a long weekend, and really the idea was just to go ride Transformers. But once you get there and you start having fun, we ended up doing a little bit more. The idea was we'll just go in, ride Transformers, and leave. And then once we were there, we're like, oh, we can do Mummy. We got time. Oh, we might as well get something to eat. Oh, let's go do the tour. We haven't done that in a while. So it ended up being, I think, 3, maybe 4 hours, just an afternoon little trip.
That's the beauties of having an annual pass. I know we have season passes for our local theme park, and it's nice to be able to go and not feel that you have to spend the whole day there.
Yeah, you go when you want. If it's too busy, you just leave.
Yeah.
You don't have to write, that's got a 40-minute wait, we won't bother, we'll just do it next time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely. Now, seeing as most of our listeners are probably Orlando visitors, and I'm curious about this as well, can you give us a quick rundown of how the Hollywood Park is set up?
Yeah, it's really interesting because, of course, it was a studio first, and then they just kind of built the park around it wherever they could fit it. So it's not nearly as unified or as logical as the Orlando parks. Everything's it's almost like a jigsaw puzzle, but none of the pictures quite match. So they've got the tour itself, which is the centerpiece of the park, and then they just kind of put everything else where they can. But you walk in, and they do have a little entrance plaza, and then there's a little England street that it's pretty short, but it's their attempt at theming, and there's a little New York street, but the attractions are just kind of wherever they would fit. And one of the unique things about the park is it's 2 levels. So there's this, it's because it's on the side of a mountain. So there is a lower lot that they call it. That's where some of the newer attractions are. They ran out of room on the top, so they built them at the bottom of the mountain, and it's this massive elevator that you have to take. It's 4 different, or escalator, excuse me. It's 4 different escalators that you take all the way to get down to the bottom of the mountain, and that's where some of the other attractions are. So the one ride that you will go on every time you go is the escalator.
Right.
Oh, that's cool. It's I can't believe I'm actually going to say it's like the monorail.
Sort of, yes, exactly. They call it the Starway.
Actually, I'm going to say, even at Universal Orlando, the first ride is the moving walkways when they're working.
When they're working.
Yes. I tend to forego those because I don't, because of the overweight Americans who just stand on them and let them do the work for them.
Yeah.
I can get around faster if I avoid them.
Yeah.
I've got to say it is good fun to run along them if you can.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, if there's free and you can walk while they're moving, you feel like the Flash. You're so fast.
Yeah. You walk, you just stand on it and go the same pace as the people stood who were walking beside it, and then when you sort of look, make eye contact, and then motor off.
Just remember to adjust your step as you get off.
Yeah.
So it sounds very different then from Orlando.
And we have one thing I forgot to mention is it also does have the City Walk. So you park and you walk into City Walk, almost like Orlando, and then you walk through City Walk to get to the actual park.
Right. Oh. Right, Andy, as I said at the beginning, we know you visit quite often, so we're going to focus the questions on the park as a whole first, rather than your specific trip.
Of course.
So, of the studio to the tram tour, which is your favourite part?
I will say that the studio tram tour is my favorite part of the park as a whole, just because that's something that Hollywood can have that no one else can have because of all the sets and the backlot and everything. So that is what makes the park here special. And then the unique thing about it, and I know you've talked about it a little bit with Jim Hill and everyone about how the tour is half tour, half attractions. So you see a little bit of the tour, and then you have an encounter or some sort of special effects thing, and then you have more of the tour and then another one. So Earthquake is part of the tour, and Jaws is part of the tour, and there's a flash flood section of the tour, and all these little things that happen as you're going through. Of all those, my favorite is, of course, Jaws, because it is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I still mourn for the loss of the attraction in Florida, and I like that we still have a little bit of it here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I need to go.
Well, I know it's not relevant to this, but what's the King Kong 360 like? Because I know we've heard rumours that it's going to end up in Orlando at some point.
It could. They'd really have to build it out though, because it's so short. I can't imagine that just being the attraction. They'd have to expand it in some other way. But it's just part of the tour where you go into this massive building tunnel type thing, and you're surrounded by these huge domed screens on both sides of the tram. But the screens run the length of the tram, which is, I believe, 5 cars long. Wow. So they're huge, and they brag that it's the biggest 3D screen in the world. I have no reason to doubt them for that. And then once the entire tram enters the building, it's completely pitch black dark. You don't see the screens; they light up, and so then you're on Skull Island, and there's the dinosaurs and huge spiders. And at a certain point, Kong jumps out and he fights the T-Rex, and then one of the T-Rex pushes the tram off a cliff, which is probably one of the best moments. And I guess this is a spoiler warning. I don't know for people who haven't seen it, but like the best moment is the fact that one of the T-Rexes kind of nudges the tram and it looks like it falls off a cliff.
Cool.
Wow. And then another one grabs the last car of the tram and pulls it off. And that obviously is not really part of it's just part of the movie, but it's done well. And then Kong catches you and picks you, puts you back up on the road. And except for whoever those poor people are in that last car, they don't get rescued as far as we see.
Right.
So
is it 3D, Andy?
But yeah, so it is 3D. You wear the glasses. And the whole thing is like 1.5 minutes. So it's very cool. It's well done, but it's very short.
Mm.
So I take it you're told before you enter that building, now it's time to put your glasses on.
Yeah. Well, on the tram, there are video screens. So during parts of the tour guide takes a break and plays a video of usually just of Jimmy Fallon, because he's the new host of the tour, and he says, "Oh, now you're on the Western streets," and he does a little funny sketch with himself playing different characters. And so on the video screen before you go into Skull Island, it's Peter Jackson talking, and he talks about how excited he is to work with Universal and go back to Skull Island, and then he's the one who says, "All right, everybody, put on your 3D glasses."
Right.
Oh, cool.
So, other than those that are parts of the studio tour, what's your favourite other attraction?
Up until the summer, I'd say the Mummy. Mm-hmm. Because it's just a great ride. It is similar to the one in Orlando, so you get the idea. Yeah. But now that Transformers is open, I would say Transformers. They really did a great job with it.
Excellent.
I'll be honest. Go on.
Seeing that video has completely changed my mind of it, and I'm hoping that we get it.
I think I heard that you were less on board with it when they announced it, because the movies are less than perfect.
That's being pleasant. I think Tracy's used a lot worse words for it.
No, there are parts of the movies I like.
Trying to be polite.
Yeah, it's just those cheesy little elements
which they've took off. I mean, before we interviewed Scott and talked to him about it, I plugged my laptop into the TV and we watched it in full HD. And I'll be honest, I was like, it could be okay. And Tracy was just like, I'm not bothered in the slightest. And the pair of us, by the end of watching that, were just like,
Jaws on the
that
floor, wasn't
looks
it?
amazing.
Yeah, it's great, and there's no parts where a robot pees on a human.
Yeah,
there are no robot testicles, so it is a huge step up from the movies.
Yeah, it couldn't get any worse. Let's face it.
No, they've laid the bar pretty low.
Yeah,
that's 2 movies.
Yeah, so it'd be good if I can't believe it says it would be good if that came to Orlando.
It would, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was inevitable as part of this show that we were going to end up talking about Transformers more than anything else.
Well, of course, it's the latest and greatest, and it actually is. It's really well done. So it's not, like Kong was nice, and I'm shocked at how much it spiked attendance for him, because for being such a small part of the tour. But they did kind of advertise it as its own attraction. But I think Transformers is a fully realized attraction, and it's great, and it's worth coming out and making the trip for, especially since we don't have Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I've got to say, it seems to be quite a long ride as well.
Yeah,
it is. I think it's a good 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like from the moment you take off and from the moment you get off.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say I'm currently under a tornado warning now. So I might get to see my favorite ride without going to Orlando.
You could end up in Oz.
That's Disney.
Oops.
Yeah, that's Disney. You can't mention Oz.
Just remember your ruby slippers.
Right.
At the moment, there is a place like home.
Yeah.
Oh no, Darren, you like Twister though, so you're all right.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be fun in person.
Darren's been mentioning Twisterville. It's coming.
And the sky's gone like yellow. Yeah. All right. So, okay. So yeah, as you said before, you were eating at inside the park there. So, you did say you do eat inside the park. So, do you have a favorite place to eat there?
Yeah. Inside the park. Well, what's weird, I don't remember I don't think they really do this in Orlando so much, but they do it here is they kind of license out the restaurants. So we have like a Panda Express in the park. We have like Ben & Jerry's in the park, which that I think is in Orlando, right?
Yes,
they have a Ben & Jerry's.
I have a picture of Tracy sat somewhere behind Disaster with two big ones. Oh, sorry. Oh. I shall rephrase that. Two big ice creams in her hands.
Hey, as long as you were willing to run the camera, then I think that okay.
That's pay-per-view.
Oh, right, that set the tone.
But no, so in our park, like anything that's not licensed for me is a plus, and they have a big Flintstones barbecue.
It's funny you mentioned that. I had a look on the website, and that was one of the places that I spotted, and I thought that sounds cool.
Yeah, it is. It's like, it looks like it's from the movies, and they do have like a big, huge grill out back where they're constantly making ribs and chicken and everything. So it's fresh off the barbecue, and I like that it's unique and it's really good. So that's my favorite place in the park to eat, and it's nice to see a little nod to the Flintstones because it's kind of random. So anything that's really kind of off the beaten path, it's kind of fun.
Good deal.
I'm trying to think. Are the Flintstones? Because we've got pictures of us with the Flintstones at Universal. Darren, do you know if they still have the meet and greet characters in the park?
I think they still walk them around every once in a while, but I think they've mainly been replaced by the Scooby-Doo characters because they were in the same general area that they used to come out at. So
it's good to see that they still sort of embrace like those older characters, even though most kids going now won't have a clue who
I just wish they put
the Flintstones are.
Flintstones back on the TV so kids. So it's relevant to kids, but I don't want to remake the Flintstones. I'll shoot somebody if they do. Don't mess with perfection.
You know they're supposed to, right? Like,
oh no.
I mean, I don't know where it is, but they announced it that the creator of Family Guy is going to make a new Flintstones, and I was like, that's great. That's all we need is Flintstones with Hitler jokes.
See, the films weren't bad. We watched. They were okay.
They're a family film, aren't they?
No, they're fun. They're cute.
They are what they are.
Yeah, they're not going to change the world, but they're cute. There's dinosaurs. I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a blast from the past, isn't it?
It is.
It is. It's old school.
Absolutely.
And then at our City Walk, as far as like places to eat, at City Walk we have my favorite place is Pink's Hot Dogs. I don't know if are you familiar with Pink's?
Nope.
No.
It's like a Hollywood staple. And there was one Pink's hot dog stand that opened in Hollywood, downtown Hollywood, and it's famous because it always has a line of 45 minutes or more. So every time you drive past it, there's a huge queue, and people will wait for 45 minutes, an hour or longer for Pink's hot dogs, and they're good. I don't know if they're that good, but it's kind of this tradition in Hollywood. And so they opened one at City Walk, and it tastes exactly the same, but there's never a line. So now I can get my Pink's without wasting an hour of my day. So it's nice to have that.
That rings a bell, actually. Covering those little bits, Andy, would you like to walk us through what you did actually do on that day? And go on, we'll let you take free rein and talk about Transformers.
Sure. That was, like I said, it was a quick day. We had just had a long day the day before at the other park down in Anaheim.
You can mention it, it's fine.
Whichever one that is.
I wonder.
Yeah, with lots of rodents and things.
Oh, that's our house.
It's our house.
But so we were our feet were very tired from the night before, so we're like, we'll just go to Universal, we'll go ride Transformers, and then we'll cut out. That'll be it. And so that was the plan. We went in and We did the single riders line at Transformers, which I've done every time because I've yet to see the actual queue. But from what I've seen online, I'm not missing all that much. So we did the single riders line. We got on pretty quick. I think 15 minutes maybe. So that's the way to go. If you're out this way, take the single riders line, look at the pictures of the queue online.
How busy? Sorry, Andy, to butt in. How busy does the park generally get? I mean, obviously we go to Orlando. We know that those parks can get fairly busy. What was that?
That was the cat. That was Sally the cat trying to be part of the podcast.
Oh, hello, Sally.
That's all right. Funnily enough, Scott had his dog part of the one that went on before this, and his dog's called Vader, so there you go.
Excellent, yes. I call her Salacious Crumb, which is
excellent.
I don't even know if you know who that is.
Oh, yes, it's that annoying little thing in Return of the Jedi.
Yes, exactly. And you just heard sometimes she can get annoying, but mostly she's not. She's good.
Sorry, Andy. Do the parks generally get busy? I mean, what sort of queue lines were you looking at Transformers?
Well, because it's summer, it's busy. It's very kind of a seasonal park because most of the audience is local, or we get the most tourists, of course, during summer or Christmas. So and you know how like in Orlando, you'll walk through City Walk in the middle of the day and City Walk is dead, but you walk into the park and it's crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, it's the exact opposite. You go on any day of the week, City Walk is packed with locals who are coming to the movies, going to get something to eat, but you go to the park and it's dead. Nobody's in the park. So it's just kind of a weird thing because the locals will come hang out at City Walk, but they don't need to see the park because they've already seen it. And I think that's something that Universal Hollywood's struggling with, which is why they're building Transformers and then eventually Harry Potter, is because they want to get more pass holders like Disney has.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So the park doesn't usually get all that crazy, but we went on a Sunday in June, so at this point it is pretty busy. But most of the attractions aren't very busy, but Transformers was still crazy for obvious reasons.
So what sort of time are you looking at calling it crazy?
I think the standby line for Transformers was probably 2 hours.
Whoa.
I think. Yeah, so and you never see that at this park. You just don't. Like on the busiest day, The Mummy and Simpsons will have 55 minutes. And that's a bad day. So it is obviously Transformers is doing what they want. People are lining up for it, which is good. But usually you don't see waits over an hour.
Right.
Yeah, and so we didn't have 2 hours. So we did single riders, got on in 15 minutes, and thoroughly enjoyed it. It is a great attraction.
How that queue? I mean, the video we watched didn't have the queue in it, but I've actually seen one, and the queue looks very long and boring.
Yeah. From what I've seen, that I would agree. Like they have a huge overflow queue outside that I've yet to wait in, but it's been full, and
wow,
it does look like it's. I mean, the whole thing is like made of concrete, and because it's 2 floors and everything, I know. Like as soon as we go into the queue, you lose cell phone reception, and so it's pretty involved.
Sounds like Rip Ride Rocket. It's a boring concrete queue as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So sorry, Lee jumped in and stopped you mid-floor there.
Did I? Sorry.
Yes, you did.
Oh no, it's okay.
You tell us about your mini trip.
It's why we're here. So anyway, we got out of Transformers, and I had to check out the merchandise, and for the most part, it's just standard stuff, T-shirts and mugs and toys that you could get at Toys R Us. But the one thing I had to purchase is they have a Transformer of Evac, he's the new character they created for the ride.
Yeah.
So he's who you ride in. You ride inside Evac. And so I was like, I had to buy that, of course.
Of course.
So, and he transforms into the ride vehicle, which was pretty darn cool. So I picked him up, and then they're trying to make their version of Butterbeer, and they have Liquid Energon.
Right.
So it's a special soda that you can only get there, and it's Liquid Energon. It's what the Transformers drink. And so I expected it to just be a big mug of motor oil.
Oh, don't say that. Scott said to us, they don't drink motor oil, they drink Energon. He was quite specific.
Excuse me, you're going to hunt me down.
Yep.
For stereotyping Autobots as machines. Yeah, I had to try that.
Yeah.
And it is a far cry from butterbeer, but it's still good. I liked it. It was like a tangerine orange soda, and I liked it. It was really good. But it's not the kind of thing where like every time I'm there I have to get it. But it's a nice little change, and I think it's cool that the theme parks are learning from the example of Harry Potter being like, hey, what if we do have unique foods and drinks that people can only get here, and people will buy them? And that's very smart to me.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, then
I was going to say, there's only so much cola and Sprite you can drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can get it anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly it, isn't it? You talk to Darren. Darren, how many butterbeers do you normally have when you go to Universal Orlando?
Too many.
Too many.
That's the right amount. That's crazy because that's exactly how much I drink when I'm there. Too much.
Yeah, I find myself walking back to the Harry Potter area just to get another one, no matter where I'm at the park. So
Darren's
I get a lot of exercise in at the same time. So
yeah, I'm sure that counteracts the amount of calories that are in one of those things. Darren's like a butterbeer crack addict.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to climb the fence or pay a cast member to, just slip me one over the fence when I went to the Universal Studios the next day.
I'd go over to IOA, buy one, and just walk it over to Universal.
Yeah.
That's my favorite ride at Islands Adventure, the butterbeer cart.
I can't wait to try it. I really can't.
Counting down, aren't we?
Yes.
Yes, we. I knew somehow we'd end up on that. I just had a hunch. Somehow end up on butterbeer talking about Transformers.
Well, you're going to get it shortly, aren't you?
Yes.
Eventually, so you'll have. That's not fair.
They need to start it now, is what I'm saying. Like they made the announcement. Give us the butterbeer card. Give it to us first, just as a teaser, so people know it's coming, and that way I can get my butterbeer.
Yeah.
And people would still spend a fortune on it.
Oh, are you kidding? Yeah, it'd be the longest line in the park.
You're right.
It is that good.
To
torture Lee and Tracy. It is that good. It's like getting a back rub from Anne Hathaway while eating pizza and having sex. It's just it's that good.
Is that with Anne Hathaway or the pizza?
Are we allowed to mention sex on this podcast?
I don't know. You can cut it out.
No, I'll leave it in. It's funny. Sorry, Andy. Continue.
That's all right. So I had my liquid Energon, and Samantha got a slushy and icy, and my other friend got a churros. So we had our little snacks, and then we went and rode the Mummy, which is good. And I don't know, I thought we'd talk about that later, but it's not quite as good as Orlando's, but it's good nonetheless. And then we went and we did the tour because we hadn't done it in like almost a year. And so we did the tour, and then we kind of called it a day. So it was just a couple hours and did our favorite things, and off we went.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the beauty of living 10 minutes from there.
Yes, not that we're jealous at all. Darren especially, because Darren, you're desperate to get out there, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm going to... one of these days, it's going to happen.
Right, Andy, if you could take any Orlando attraction and put it in Hollywood, what would it be?
Wait, I have a cheat sheet for that. Wait, Butterbeer.
That's not an attraction.
That's the you can keep Forbidden Journey, you can keep the Hippogriff, I just want the Butterbeer.
Well, all right then, because I think that's a cheaty answer, because you're getting Butterbeer.
Yes, we are. But as far as actual attractions go, I'd say Men in Black.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun ride. I love it. It could go exactly where T2 is in our park, and I think that's the only one that we don't already have that I think would be a good addition to the park.
Oh,
interesting, because funny, as part of the news for this show, the rumour going around that Terminator 2 will close before the year is out, and it is to be replaced by Despicable Me.
Yeah, that would make more sense because it's newer. I just don't have a lot of love for Despicable Me, so I'd rather see Men in Black.
Fair enough.
I love Despicable Me. We love Despicable Me in our, but yeah, if I had the choice, I would take Men in Black.
Well, and Despicable Me, it's another simulator, and we got enough. We got Simpsons. We don't need another simulator, but Men in Black is a unique ride system that we don't have an equivalent out here. So
Yeah.
To me that makes more sense, but they don't ask me these things.
It also gives you it gives, unlike something like Despicable Me, Men in Black gives you much more rewritability.
Exactly. Yes.
And who doesn't like blasting aliens?
Thank you. I know.
You don't get the opportunity often enough.
Right?
Yeah. Plus it's
All
always-
right. And now, if you could turn it the other way, what would you take from Hollywood and put in Orlando?
Well, I mentioned the tour is my favorite part of Hollywood, but it's so unique to Hollywood. It's just not. You couldn't move it to Orlando. It's just not realistic. Right. So, and to be honest, almost every attraction we have at Hollywood, you all have in Orlando. Mm-hmm. Pretty much. I mean, there are some differences here and there, and I think we're supposed to talk about that. But the one that we have that you all don't, that I think I would make a good fit over there, is the House of Horrors.
Mm.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that the big rumor around at the moment is that Studio 44, Soundstage 44, that's currently being pulled down, that's what that's going to be.
I think that would be awesome because I love the classic Universal monsters, and I know that they've wanted to put them in the park for a long, long time, and it just makes sense. And I like having that year-round nod to Halloween and to their classic characters that's always there. I can always go in it, and it's not the greatest haunted house you've ever been in, but it's good enough and it's fun, and I'd love to see Orlando have a version of it.
All right. Now, explain that a little bit, like for the people that haven't been in it. Does it run like one of the Halloween Horror Nights houses?
It does. It runs all year. And here's where, like, it used to be a Mummy walkthrough haunted house, and then they changed it to a Van Helsing walkthrough haunted house, and then now it's just the Universal House of Horrors. So because it was like two other attractions before, and they've just made tweaks and changes here and there, it doesn't quite all hold together because it's obvious where they're like, oh, that was already there from Van Helsing, and they just kind of made some little changes to try and make it into something else. So you can tell it wasn't designed this way from the ground up, that it's gone through different iterations. But it is, it's there all year round. During the slow time, though, they will have almost show time. So it'll be like House of Horrors will be open from 1:30 to 2, 2:30 to 3, 3:30 to 4. And the reason for that is because of the live characters inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during the down season, they probably only have one cast, and so they just set the times from there. Mm-hmm. But you walk through, and they have little nods to, you go through like a catacombs with skulls and a cave, almost like the old queue to Dueling Dragons. And they've got a child's playroom with all these Chucky boxes, and they have a little mummy's tomb. They've got a little nod to Psycho, which I love, with Norman Bates's mother. They have a mirror, like a mirrored hallway, kind of a House of Mirrors type thing. They have a great zombie room where the whole wall looks like a window, and they projected zombies like banging on the window to get in, and that's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then the big centerpiece is they have the huge laboratory that's obviously still the set from Van Helsing that's still there, with with the wrapped up corpse and the electricity and all the different, it looks like Dr. Frankenstein's lab. So they have all those little nods to the different monsters. They have a Phantom of the Opera room. So lots of different things, lots of focus, which is great. But during the off season, I think they have a grand total of 4 characters in there.
Right.
So most of it is kind of you're just walking through and looking, and there's not usually someone there to jump out at you, and then you can almost just count them down. Oh, that's 1 out of 4. There's 2 out of 4. And done. You hit all 4. So that's why I said the houses at Halloween Horror Nights are better because they're fully staffed, and this, because it's year round, they can't really do that. But then during Halloween, they shove as many characters in there as they can, and then it really comes to life.
I take it it's a walkthrough, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
So how long sort of an attraction is it?
I would say it probably takes maybe 7 to 8 minutes to walk through it.
That's quite good.
Yeah, it's good size.
Think like looking at it from that point of view, then like from what you've just said there, Andy, you would expect if the rumours are true and that's what they're putting into Soundstage 44, that it would be better because they're building it from the ground up rather than, like you said, sort of it changed from this to that to that. So rather than change the whole thing, they've just sort of tweaked little bits.
Right, exactly. And I think that if they did bring it to Orlando, they could do it from scratch and plan it exactly that way. And I think it would probably be a little stronger attraction if that's what they decide to do.
Yep, and it is right next to the Monsters Cafe.
Exactly.
And see, that would be perfect.
You see, if they'd open
they might
that
even
Monsters,
open it up.
I was going to say, if they'd open it up, it'd be even better.
Cool. Yeah, I was just talking to Lee about that, and I go, I eat there every time I go, and he goes, we've never seen it open, and I'm like, oh well, I only go in October, so.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So they do always have it open in October, and so I go in there and get my pizza, and it's part of my Halloween Horror Nights tradition.
Cool. Yeah. Right, so Andy, there's a few attractions that you have in Hollywood that I'm going to say we, but we're not out there, are we? But that are also in Orlando. So is there any attractions in Hollywood that you feel are better than the ones in Orlando?
Yeah, like there are a few that are exactly the same. Like T2, Simpsons, Shrek are all exactly the same. Like right. I can't even tell the difference. But the one that I think that Hollywood has the edge on, and I know this is a favorite of you guys, is Jurassic Park. And I say favorite with a wink. I know you guys are less thrilled with it.
If Hunter was here, he would say that he likes it, but he's not. Yeah. So I don't.
Well,
it doesn't count. It's defective.
I'm Darren. I like it.
I think actually, if our Jurassic Park was fixed and tidied up a bit,
I think the problem with Jurassic Park is everyone's seen the concept art for what should have been there. The Jeep Safari thing.
Yeah, but let's just fix the tears in the dinosaurs' necks and
just bulldoze it and add it in the Wizarding World.
Yeah.
Well, you're just going to end up with Wizarding World land.
Yeah, well.
No, I say keep Jurassic Park, but clean it up. I think that we're going to get enough Harry Potter in Orlando.
I would like to see it reach its full potential, which would be nice.
Yeah, I could see that. And you can even see where the ride, the ride opened here in Hollywood first. Yeah. And it's fantastic. And you can see where when they ported it over to Florida, where they're like, well, if we cut this, we can save $1 million. And if we change this, we can save another $100,000. And you can see where those little tweaks happen to save a little bit of money here and there. Because it's a little, there's a little less animatronics. And in Hollywood, like the reason I say it's better is because in Orlando, there's, the big T-Rex moment before you go down. But in Hollywood, the T-Rex is in the attraction twice.
Right.
So he's not only at the right at the big drop, but when you first enter the building, he comes in from the ceiling and kind of snaps at the top of your heads, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in Orlando, they've got the raptor cage that's above the boat that's kind of shaking if it's working. But if it's shaking and it falls, which is neat. But in Hollywood, it's actually the Jeep from the movie, and it slides down the wall and then kind of like leans towards the boat like it's going to fall on the boat. And I just think it's a neater effect, and it's a little more close to what we saw in the movie.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So overall, which park do you prefer even? Comparing like for like, Universal Studios Florida or Universal Studios Hollywood?
Well, those are always the tough questions, and I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Okay, so I'm warning you. As far as like a true Hollywood experience, I prefer the Hollywood Park because if you're really interested in where they make movies and how they make movies, we've got the tour.
Yeah.
But if you're going just for a theme park day, Orlando, hands down, because it was built as a theme park, it's designed as a theme park. There are more attractions, there's more room, you feel more immersed. Mm-hmm. So as a park, Hollywood, like I said, it was a little pieced together here and there wherever they could find room. So it doesn't all hold together feel like one full park. It's like, oh, and then we shoved Simpsons here because that's where we could. So it kind of suffers a little bit in that. But where it excels is the fact that it is where they made all these movies for so many years, and where you get to see all that.
That's pretty cool.
Definitely. Okay, and on to my favorite part here. Which Halloween Horror Nights event do you feel is better, Hollywood or Orlando?
Well, I'm a little biased. I was in Orlando for many, many years, and they do Halloween better than anyone, including Hollywood. Their event is impressive every year, and every year it's 8 new houses and 6 new scare zones. And this year it sounds like we might get 1 less house, but we'll see how that goes. But they've been doing it so long and so well that every year they knock it out of the park. And here, it's only been back since 2006. And you can tell there's still some growing pains, and they have less space. And so they kind of, again, find where they can put it. So if you can only go to one Halloween event on the West Coast, you'd go to Universal Hollywood. I've been to Knott's Scary Farms. They have quantity, but they don't have quality. Hollywood provides the quality. But if you can only go to Orlando or Hollywood, I would still go to Orlando.
Right.
All right.
I'm going to jump in off the back of Darren then, because Darren's always said to us, he's obviously we love Halloween Horror Nights, but Darren's been like every year for about the last 10 years or whatever, and he's always said that he much prefers the movie-based houses that Hollywood provide over the sort of Universal-created ones that Orlando provides. What do you feel about, Andy? Do you prefer the movie-based ones, or do you prefer their own creation, like Jack the Clown and the Caretaker? And
I prefer a balance. I think that I think there can be 1 or 2 houses based on movies, and that's great, and then some original stuff where you don't know what's coming, and I think that's ideal. Kind of a little bit of both. I feel like Hollywood is. They've tied themselves so closely to, we only do movie-based houses, that I think it limits their creativity. And maybe that's their goal. It's less work for them to just watch a movie and go, oh, great, we'll rebuild that house and we'll rebuild that cave and we'll rebuild that. And it's easier to do it that way. But I feel like you don't get as many surprises, and you don't get as many cool brand new characters, happy accidents like Jack the Clown and the Caretaker and the director. You just don't get that out here because they've tied themselves to that movie brand.
Yeah.
So
that is very true. But on the plus side, you do have the actual, like the director of the movie helping out, on the set design for the house. So that's pretty impressive.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool that they do partner with those people. It's neat that the producers of the movie do get to come walk through. But at the same time, there are only so many horror movies that you can put into a haunted attraction that people are going to know.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've already kind of come to the end of that, unfortunately. So that's why we ended up getting Freddy Krueger. And I love Freddy Krueger. I think he's great. I grew up with him. But we got Freddy Krueger 3 years in a row. And I'm just like, enough Freddy Krueger. Can we broaden our horizons just a little bit? And so because they've tied themselves to that, we get a lot of those repeats and a lot of, oh, it's the same, but we're going to change one room and pretend it's different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you just, and again, I know that Orlando is very unique in that every year they give you 100% new content. And Hollywood doesn't. We get at least 1 repeated house. We get the House of Horrors, which stays 90% the same from year to year, but they'll try to do some sort of like overlay change to it to make it seem like it's unique. We have the Terror Tram, which the very first year I came, which was 2007, I thought was amazing because you get to take the tram down into the back lot and you get off the tram, and it's almost like one huge extended scare zone as you walk through the back lot.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Which is great. Like you get to walk next to the Bates Motel and the Psycho House and the War of the Worlds crash site, which is really cool. And so the first year I did that, I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. How cool was that? And then the next year it was exactly the same. And I'm like, oh, but it's still pretty cool. And then the next year it was exactly the same. And I'm like, well, it's still okay. And so if you only come once, it's great. But for us locals who go every year, it's just the same.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like, we can skip it. We saw it last year.
Yeah.
Which seems weird as well, because you would think, like, Orlando, I think, could get away with repeating stuff more than Hollywood could, because I would expect to find the people that visit Hollywood for Halloween Horror Nights would be more of the locals, the people that live there, who wouldn't necessarily travel to get there, whereas Orlando is people won't, you get a throughput of people rather than the same people going regularly.
Right. And I don't know if that just has to do with the fact that that Orlando, because they've been doing it, they're going on year 22, that they constantly want to raise the bar for themselves. And the fact that they have so much riding on Halloween every year that's such a huge profit center for them. Whereas in Hollywood, it's only been back 5 years, and so they're still figuring that out. And I think they kind of go by the law of, as long as people are lining up, it's not broke. Then they obviously don't mind if it's repeated. As long as we got people buying tickets, we can just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I've just thought of a question.
Go.
Just, if you don't mind. Andy.
Yes.
Sorry, big swallow there. So I'm just joking. Is there a ride or an attraction, shall we say, that you would love to see in the park? One that's not in existence anywhere else? Something new for the future? Is there anything that would really excite you?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I've just thought of it.
It's one of those curveballs.
Yeah, don't ask me to answer it.
Oh, okay. Wow, I'm trying to think of Universal properties.
That's the difficulty, isn't it?
Yeah. You mentioned the Jurassic Park Jeep ride that I know it was out there, and I would love to see that happen because Jurassic Park is in my top 10 favorite films of all time. So I would love to see the Jeep ride, something different.
That'd be exciting.
I would love to see some sort of ride through of the classic monsters. Yeah. I don't necessarily see that happening in Hollywood because we do have the House of Horrors, but I would love an actual ride that goes through Dracula's castle and Frankenstein and the Mummy and Creature from the Black Lagoon, things like that. So
very cool.
I'd really like to see that too. Those are the ones that I can kind of think of as far as new Universal properties that are happening. Actually, those are old properties, but as far as things that Universal already owns that we haven't already seen.
Good answer for on the spot.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
Say we chuck some
some
curveballs, and I'm trying to think of one now.
I know. I can see your brain working.
Yeah, I'm looking on the Wikipedia list of Universal picture films, and I see The Jerk was Universal, so that might be interesting. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Maybe
just trying to pick up as many things.
Tu Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
Oh, there you go.
It seems to be that Universal Hollywood have hung on to a lot of their older stuff, unlike Universal Orlando are pretty much eradicating everything that's classic about that park. Jaws has gone, King Kong's gone, Back to the Future's gone, whereas the Bates Motel's gone. Well, they have to.
Yeah.
But as far as
I found Hunters. They did Cheech and Chong's next movie.
Oh.
Maybe a Smokey and the Bandit roller coaster. There you go. I'd be for it.
With fake moustaches to wear.
Oh, Animal House would be amazing.
Yeah.
It's just a keg stand. That's all it is.
Needs to be a restaurant, and you'll have doing the "Can you guess what I am now?" and then splurting meringue all over the place. I'm a zit, get it?
I was thinking about that over dinner. That was really weird.
But yeah, they still got Jaws on the tram tour. Even though King Kong area burned down, they still put the 360 in. They've still got the Bates Motel. It seems they've hung on to a lot of the classic stuff more than Universal has. Do you think that's because of it being a movie studio?
I think so. And I think that when people think of the Universal tour, the first thing they think of is Jaws. They go, "Oh yeah, that's where the shark jumps out at you. That's where Jaws attacks you." And I don't think that will ever go away as part of the tour. Whereas when it was his own attraction, it might have been a little easier to justify getting rid of it, you know? And same thing with the Bates Motel and the Psycho House. That's when you go on the tour, you expect to see that. And one cool thing about that part of the tour, which I failed to mention, is that they actually pay a guy who looks like Norman Bates. They pay this guy to go stand out by the Bates Motel every day, all day. So whenever the tour goes past it, he looks around and he goes into the room and he pulls out the body of Janet Leigh and puts it in the trunk of the car, closes the trunk, notices the tour, and then runs after the tour with a knife out. and then the tour moves on, and then he goes and he does exactly the same thing for the next group, which I just think it's great that not only it's like, oh, cool, here's the Bates Motel, they actually care enough to hire a Norman Bates to stand there all day to bring it to life, to give the tourists a little bit of a thrill.
Excellent. So you want to sit your kids in the back row of the last tram?
Absolutely, on the right side.
On the right side.
On the right side.
Duly noted.
And they go, and you can tell them, he knows you didn't eat your broccoli. He knows.
I tell Lee that, not the kids.
I eat my broccoli.
Yeah, duress.
Yeah, whatever. So go on then, Andy. I think we've just about wrapped up. If there's anything else you feel you want to slip in there.
I'm trying to think. Oh, the one other thing that I thought was really cool. I think one part of the parks that unfortunately is going away the longer they sit there, and I think this is both true for Orlando and for Hollywood, is, you know, the original idea was, oh, we're going to give you insight, we're going to give you a window on what it is to make movies. Mm-hmm. And then, because if you remember, like, especially in Orlando, like before Earthquake, they would talk to you about how they built the sets and built the models of Earthquake and how they made that movie before you went and read it. And Alfred Hitchcock, which I thought was a great attraction, was like, this is how Hitch made his movies. And so unfortunately that's going away from more traditional rides where it's like, oh no, just go ride a ride based on a movie. Mm. So here we used to have it was the special effects stages, and it was like a 3-part show, almost like the monster makeup show in Orlando, but it was longer. And if that monster makeup portion was just one part of the 3, where it was like, oh, we're going to show you how we do special effects, we're going to show you how we do makeup, we're going to show you how we do sound and Foley. And that unfortunately went away for Transformers. But what they did instead was then they created a new special effects show on the upper lot to kind of take the place of that. So I thought it was really cool that instead of just completely losing that piece of it totally, that we still have that show about special effects and about how they make movies. Because I think that's something that Universal can offer that the competitors can't. And it's nice to see it still exist in some form or another.
Certainly.
Yep.
Go on then, I've got another one to chuck in. Go on, other than the butterbeer, Andy, how do you feel about getting the Wizarding World out there? Or whatever it's going to be, the Wizarding City. We don't know, they haven't actually announced what sort of size area it's going to be yet, have they?
Village.
Right. Well, I think who can blame them? You know? It makes perfect sense, because if Universal Orlando was hurting for visitors, you know, it's nothing compared to the way they are in Hollywood. Because like I said, the people I know who live here, I'll say, oh yeah, I went to Universal Hollywood, and they'll be like, really? I haven't been there in 15 years, because they have that feeling of, you saw it once, you're good. So that's something that Universal is fighting. So of course they'd bring Harry Potter. It makes perfect sense. I'm excited about it because I enjoy the butterbeer. I think the franchise is okay, but I love the land in Orlando. So I think it's a cool and exciting new thing to our park. I would imagine, I mean, they haven't really said even where it's going. I know there's been a lot of speculation about it, but I would imagine it's going to take up where the Waterworld show is. Mm-hmm. Because the fact that we still have a Waterworld show kind of is just insane, you know?
Yeah.
It's crazy, but we still do, and people line up just because there's not that much to do in the park. But I think that one is well past its due date, and it's kind of separate off the beaten path from the rest of the park. So it would be a place where you could create a whole street with the attraction at the end, and so I'm excited to see them get it started, to get it underway, because I think that the park needs it, and it will get more people out to it.
Yeah.
And I think competition is good for us all, you know? Make everyone raise their game.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I totally agree.
And I'll be able to get butterbeer.
Yes. I think we've
reason.
gathered that Andy likes butterbeer. If anyone would like to send Tracy and I some over, actually we should just go down to London because we can get it down there as well.
Yeah, but it's London.
We need to do the wizard.
I've got
do
desire to go to London.
Yeah, but I want to go and do the
I want to go and do
Warner
that.
Brothers Studio tour
Yeah, but
thing. So, and it's been brilliant. Actually, it's been really interesting talking about a
been
park that I'll
fabulous.
be honest, I don't really know that much about, and it's. As I've wrote down here, it says, thanks, Andy, for joining us and schooling us on a park that, not just us, probably a lot of our listeners don't know much about.
No.
My pleasure. I'm always here to help. Anytime you need anything West Coast related or Halloween related, you just give me a call.
Well, I actually feel that this Hollywood show, as part of our 4th of July, I'm liking the idea, but I think it may become a regular thing.
I think it should do, really.
Not necessarily for July 4th, because I feel we're pushing other things, but I think we should do one a year. I like it. Yeah, even though we always said...
Keep up to date. Well, no, we have to expand. So yes, Andy, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. It really has. And if you'd like to let everyone know about your stand-up gigs...
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me the option to shamelessly plug my comedy. That's good. So any listeners out there who live in the Los Angeles area, find me on Facebook and Twitter. It's Andy DiGenova. That's DIGenova. Find me on Facebook and Twitter, and I will let you know where I'm performing. I have a show every few weeks, so usually in the Burbank area. So check it out, and I will promise to tell jokes about geeky things like toys in the 80s and Disney and all kinds of fun stuff.
It's funny, actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to one of your YouTube videos in our show notes, I think, as part of this.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
And you never know, one day we might manage to make it out to a show ourselves.
That would be cool.
Come on out, and you come to the show, and I will treat you guys to a liquid energon the next day.
Awesome.
It's a deal.
Yeah, but thanks very much, Andy, for having us on. Yes, thank you for having us on our podcast.
Yeah,
it was great. Well, you do kind of own the Hollywood scene, so there you go.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right, thanks. Thanks a lot, and have a good one.
My pleasure. You guys too.
You too. Cheers, Andy.
Take care.
And on with the show.
In a world where the skies are clouded with ADRs, park tickets, and hotel bookings, one hero stands like a beacon of light in the darkness. Heather, at Be Our Guest Destinations.
She can book all of your Universal Orlando vacation needs, and her service is free for you. If you're staying on Disney property for some reason, she can even book Universal tickets that include transportation. How awesome is that? She's also an authorized Disney vacation planner, as well as being able to book all cruise lines. So if you are planning on battling Megatron alongside Optimus Prime on the Transformers ride, or having a duff in the Springfield area, or planning even further ahead to visit Harry Potter in Diagon Alley this summer, contact Heather at 1-800-796-6240 or via email at heather@destinationsinflorida.com today, and don't forget to tell her that you're repping the UUOP. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
When we set out to record our first Universal Hollywood show for our July 4th special, we knew we would inevitably end up talking about Transformers The Ride 3D for the majority of the show.
You're right, this does sound terribly scripted, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
Anyway, so following on from our interview with Scott Smith and our trip report with Andy DiGenova, we thought we'd invite someone onto the show who attended the grand opening of the Universal Hollywood's newest attraction.
And it's an honour to welcome onto the show the owner and creator of the Season Pass podcast, Doug Barnes. Hi, Doug.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Right, that's pretty much the scripted stuff out of the way, so we can just chat now. It does sound horrendous now you've mentioned it.
I thought it sounded great. I have the hardest time trying to say that. In fact, people have no clue how much I have to edit my intros just to get it going.
We're good, Doug. How are you?
Doing fantastic. It's a beautiful day here and a lot going on in California here, so I couldn't be happier.
Good.
Cool. Right, so we'll get into it then. Now, when you went to the grand opening, Doug, who did you go with?
Well, I went for just actually by myself for Season Pass podcast, but I ended up meeting up with Rick West and Johanna from themeparkadventure.com, as well as Norm from Mice Chat.
Cool.
Right.
So, I mean, we watched a video on YouTube of the grand opening. It looked pretty cool, but for those that haven't seen it, would you describe what the event entailed?
Okay, well, I mean, the thing with Universal Hollywood is that they love to do these media events for brand new attractions or like events like Halloween Horror Nights, stuff like that. But they tend to do a lot of this red carpet stuff where they have to bring, the superstars and TV and stuff, and pretty much having like a ton of Glee stars walking through just for some reason. Okay. So it's all about the red carpet for them at first. And people like us, we just really don't care too much about the red carpet. We see what's going on with the ride and get on the ride. Basically, after the red carpet, they finally do the media event where we thought that it was going to be Steven Spielberg and all these guys come up and talking about the ride. But no, really what it was they had the general come up and basically announce that there's an attack from the Decepticons, and they drive out Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, and all the explosions and military guys jumping down from the building. And of course, Michael Bay has to come on to say something that nobody's listening about
in a horrendous T-shirt.
Yeah,
that was nasty.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but Michael Bay, for some reason, it just rubs me the wrong way.
I think he does a lot of people.
Yeah, it's the thing. It's like, to me, hey, he's very successful at what he does. He makes things blow up. He has a way of making, every action film extremely intense. But he just seems a little bit really, really confident about himself in his filmmaking, which kind of just bothers me. And then also he shakes the camera way too much. The camera. No, but after that, they just basically opened it, and that was it. We didn't get a chance to hear from, some of the creators who created it, or, Steven Spielberg to come up. He just kind of showed up and was walking around and then rode the ride and left. So, yeah, I mean, it was a good event. I think I was a little bit disappointed by it.
I watched it and I thought it was pretty cool, but now you've said that, I suppose.
It was good. It was a good show. I won't say that. And I'm not saying that it was terrible. I was just a little disappointed because I thought we were going to hear from maybe Terry Koo talking about the ride stuff. We didn't get any of that.
Yeah, I mean, that would make...
That's something I'd considered.
Yeah, I hadn't. But yeah, you would expect
You would think like maybe Mark Woodbury or like Terry Koo or somebody would just come up and say, yeah, even though I know that's like, lip service or whatever for them, but at least say this is like one of the most intense, coolest attractions we ever made.
When you compare it to something like when they reopened Spider-Man, like we talked before we recorded, when they reopened Spider-Man, they had the two guys that worked on it there speaking about what they'd done. And yeah, it seems a bit like, I think, like you said, it's the Hollywood thing. They want to do the Hollywood production. So it was all about the sort of the little mini movie that they wanted to portray rather than
keeping you within the movie rather than the
absolutely
big wigs, if you like.
Yeah, they definitely Hollywood it up that way, and it was more about the show rather than the creators behind it. And I think that's what makes Orlando and Hollywood very different from each other.
Yeah,
is that Hollywood is about the movies, is about the show, where Orlando's more about the the immersive environment and the creators behind it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So, of course, you were at the Transformers event, and I'm sure you've attended many openings like this before. So, how do you think the Transformers event compared to the Cars Land opening that you recently attended?
Like you're saying, obviously comparing sort of like for like,
Yeah, there was a big difference. Huge difference. Now, I mean, the Cars Land event, the DCA event, they had a red carpet as well, but that wasn't really the main focus. I mean, they really focused on the leadership of the Disney parks and Imagineering, and they had John Lasseter up there and Tom Staggs and Bob Iger was there. So it was really focused on the land and itself. And they also spent basically one night, one full day, and then the next morning to basically reopen this new park that they created. And it was definitely a much bigger thing with Disney. I think that Universal kind of did their special 10-minute show, which was cool, but then they were done. All right, get the ride open. That's pretty much what they did.
I suppose that can be a good thing or a bad thing. I suppose from people waiting to ride its point of view, that's like, well, that's good because I can get on it quicker.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that's so cool about these media events, especially the Universal one, was, this ride, I was just there with my wife a couple of weeks ago, and the waits were 85 minutes for Transformers, where during the media event, we just jumped on it like, I don't know, 6 or 7 times.
Right.
So it was, it definitely it's definitely cool as just a theme park geek like myself to be able to have the chance to just jump on these rides a few times.
So was that the first time you'd ridden it then, Doug?
Yeah. And you guys, you know the story that this thing soft opened for basically like 5 weeks before they finally did the media event.
Yeah,
for
well,
it.
Andy DiGenova, we did the trip report with. He's ridden it loads of times already because he's a season pass holder over there, so he goes over quite regularly. And he said he'd ridden it loads of times, didn't he?
I didn't realise it was 5 weeks it had been open before.
Yeah, it was close to 5 weeks. It was over a month that they had it open. And like Rick West from Theme Park Adventure, he rode it 40 times before before the media event. So it was funny because he's been on it so many times, so he knows this ride inside and out. And actually, it was good for somebody like him to ride it because he was able to point things out to me on that ride that I would have never have known.
All
before.
right, we'll get into that in a minute.
Cool.
I don't care. We probably never get to ride it, so...
speak for yourself.
I thought I was going to say that.
I've got plans with that insurance money.
Do you not think that having any sort of soft opening, Doug, then cheapens a media event like this?
It does. Absolutely, it does. It does for I think most media, mostly the website-based medias. Like your site and Theme Park Review and Theme Park Adventure and all them, because they already have all that information. They already have all the stuff. They have the reviews. There's nothing else that they need. Once the actual media event happens, that media event is supposed to be a big commercial for Universal at that point, and that's where they bring in the magazines, the TV news stations that do their special shows based off of it. Newspapers. That's when they all come in. That's their invitation to do this. But the ride's already been talked about for so long, and everybody knows about it that it does cheapen it, because there's not an excitement of, oh my God, we're going to be the first ones on this. It's more, while everybody says it's a good ride, so let's go on it and check out for ourselves.
Like comparing it to Disney, like being the first riders on, I can't even remember which one it was. Was it Luigi's tire thing? Which one did you go on first? I can't remember now.
That's funny. Yeah. On Mater's Junkyard Jamboree.
That was it.
Yeah. Brent Young, my co-host of Season Pass, and Arthur Levine of About.com. We were the first 3 official riders for Mater's Junkyard Jamboree.
Which is pretty cool.
It is. It's something, we geek out over these little things because it's not really, it doesn't really mean much, but for us, it's at least something that we could, say that, what this is, this classic land, this Disneyland, something brand new for Disneyland. And we were the first official riders on it, and it's just something that you hold in your heart.
When your kids are older to understand it, and it's been going for 20 years, you can say, we were the first ones to ride that.
Oh, my kids are going to get so sick of that. Each time we're waiting in line, I'll be like telling my kids, I was one of the first official riders. That's right. They're like, Dad, I know you have already told me for the last 5 years. Just shut up and just ride it. It'll be like...
Well, it's funny, actually, as we're recording this on Sunday night, Despicable Me is having its grand open tomorrow, and that's been soft opening for about 3 weeks, possibly even longer.
See, this has been the universal way right now, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems that way.
Doing it everywhere.
Because our co-host Hunter, who's not with us because he's defected to the dark side, he's currently a college programmer for Disney working in the Magic Kingdom.
No, we're the dark side. He's gone to the light side.
Shame on him.
Awesome. So he's with the rebellion forces right now.
Yes, it's funny. You're not the first person who's compared it to Star Wars, but yes, he's defected over there. But he's trying to spread the universal word in Disney for us. But he's already rode Despicable Me, and he said it was okay. But it's one of those things. I think completely getting off topic. But
I love off topic.
Yeah.
It seems to be that if you like the movie, then you like the attraction. If you're not that bothered, then it's all right.
Well, I love that movie. I thought it was an adorable film.
I mean, we've been watching a lot of the videos they've been posting recently and having the Minions all over the place, and it's like, who doesn't like Minions?
Exactly. No, it sounds adorable to me. And I think the problem with a lot of people maybe going onto a ride like this, they're expecting a big E-ticket attraction. Yeah. And I don't think that's what it is. I think it's more like supposed to be a D-ticket attraction, right?
Have you ridden Jimmy Neutron when it was...
Yes, I rode Jimmy Neutron.
From what we can gather, it's very, very much the same.
Okay, which is fine.
I love Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah, and is this one in 3D?
Yeah, it's the same 3D they've used on the Spider-Man refurb.
Oh, see, that's going to be fantastic. Yeah. That always brings it to another level, I think.
Certainly does.
Yeah, so I'm excited about it. I'm not expecting the e-ticket attraction. I'm just expecting fun.
Yes, that's my attitude as well, which is what I think it'll be if they're sticking with the Jimmy Neutron formula.
Yeah, I don't know if people were expecting like, oh my God, they just made Transformers in Hollywood and they have to make Despicable Me just as good. I don't know if they're thinking something like that, but I mean, there's just no way. Transformers is just in a league of its own.
Speaking of Transformers, then.
Oh, yes.
Transition.
Yes, that was perfect. I like it. They get your segues from the Segway store. Let's get into the ride itself. What is your opinion on it?
I love it. It is a A++ ride. I give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's just fantastic. I think it's super fast paced. I do recommend everybody who rides it to ride it more than once, because the first time it feels like it's just overwhelming. And I don't know what I could say on your podcast, but it feels like it's a robot raping the first time around.
Right.
It does.
Duly noted.
I can't. There's no other way to describe it. It's like, you know, if you're thrown in the middle of a Michael Bay film, it would feel. Don't you think you'd be like overwhelmed and thinking, "Oh my God, something is just going to be a part at some point." Yeah. So that's how you kind of feel in this ride, because it is so fast paced, it's so overwhelming, and there's just so much happening at a time that it is very intense the first time around. But once you go on it a few more times, you really settle in, you get to understand what's happening, and I think it's just phenomenal.
Excellent.
I'm going to ask, the inevitable comparisons are there. How do you think it compares to Spider-Man?
See, and this is I think I was talking.
My question.
Yeah, there you go.
The only one I had.
This is what's great about a ride like this, is that your biggest struggle is you're trying to compare it to another great ride of the same technology. And I'm still struggling. I'm still trying to figure out what's the better ride, Spider-Man or Transformers. Transformers, I have to go see the new Spider-Man again with all the HD updates and everything in a new projection, because I got a feeling that might push it over the edge. They're neck and neck right now. I don't know. I could say the difference is that Spider-Man has an amazing story. I love the queue for Spider-Man much more than Transformers. I think that it's a lot of fun. You're going through and you're meeting each of those villains, and you really feel immersed in the story. Where Transformers isn't really about the story; it's about just throwing you in the middle of a fight and seeing if you can make it out alive. That's pretty much what it is. And for that part, I'd say that Spider-Man definitely has the edge. But if you want to talk about just visuals and immersive action and just pure speed, visual speed, it is definitely Transformers. One thing that was pointed out to me by Dave Cobb over at ThinkWell, he said that that Transformers doesn't have a soundtrack at all. It's in real time. So and I didn't really pick that up until later on, but some people might have, prefer Spider-Man because there's a soundtrack behind it compared to Transformers not having a soundtrack.
Right. I suppose like a soundtrack from the same as a movie, it heightens the experience, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. But at the same time, I gotta admit, I didn't really notice the first couple of times I went on it that there was no soundtrack. I just didn't notice that.
I suppose there's so much going on.
Exactly, and that's the thing. But I really can't say which one. When I first wrote it, I said this is my favorite ride. After like 3 times. But then I started thinking about Spider-Man and how much I love Spider-Man. Then I was like, let me get back on Spider-Man right in the, and then I could probably come up with an answer. But as a theme park fan, as somebody who loves immersive experiences, this is the best problem you can ever have, is trying to figure out which one is your favorite ride. Really,
absolutely. Now, am I right in thinking, Because they're similar, they're the same ride system.
Yeah, the scoop's the same in
Yeah.
both, isn't it? The ride vehicle.
It looks this from the video we saw, but is the Transformers ride longer than Spider-Man?
Yeah, I believe
quite a
it
bit.
is. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a little bit longer. It's definitely a long ride. It's. Let me just say that this is the most massive attraction I've ever seen Universal build. Everything's huge. Everything is massive, and it takes a long time to get through everything. And they also use an elevator system in this ride that you would never, ever know that it was there if you just were watching the ride and never paid attention. That you would have no clue that they have an elevator that goes up to a second level and an elevator that drops back down. But what that does is that it makes the square footage of that ride just, it feels unlimited, with where they can go with that ride.
Wow, I didn't know that.
No, it's very interesting. I mean, Scott we spoke to at the beginning, he's like a huge Transformers fan. And what he said to us, he hasn't ridden it, but he's obviously watched the videos, is he actually felt that the ride technology was a better fit for Transformers than it was for Spider-Man. Because you're actually riding in a Transformer, and because you're in a robot going amongst other robots, rather than you're sort of following villains, and it was kind of forced of why you were up. When you get blasted by the anti-gravity gun and you're up and you're sort of flying about. And he said that felt more forced than, let's be honest, with Transformers, they can fly, so it kind of felt like it suited that ride better than it does
natural.
for Spider-Man. Yeah.
Okay, so this is where let me talk a little, because I have my own opinions on this
Cool.
thing. And I'm trying to not make any kind of spoilers. I'll do the best that I can. I doubt that I could do it though. So the gravity gun in that section, I understand what you're saying. It's a little bit more forced with Spider-Man because you have to get into a vehicle and ride around. And it's like, okay, well, what's with this vehicle? That doesn't really. It's kind of like the magical bench or whatever that is for Harry Potter. Okay, what is this device that you? It's like forced, So
yeah.
I understand that, but like the part where you get hit by the gravity gun and you get shot up, that to me is still the greatest sequence I've ever experienced on a ride, period.
Stunning.
It absolutely is. And that moment when those buildings, when you're going up the buildings and they have the set design going down and giving you that feeling that you're just floating right up, and Spider-Man's like jumping up with you saying, hey, you're not supposed to be going up here, but all that moment's so awesome. And I think that works better than any moments really in Transformers, because it's just that awe-inspiring moment that you're just like, dude, they broke ground with this moment, where there's nothing they broke ground with Transformers, but at the same time, Transformers, there's a moment where Starscream grabs you and starts flying you through the city, and you're going through buildings and stuff.
I mean, that bit in Spider-Man you were talking about, I think was it the first time or the second time we went to Islands of Adventure?
I don't know. I don't know what we're going to
when
say.
it broke down and all the 3D screens stopped working. And it makes you realise that the combination of the set design, the sort of 4D elements, plus the 3D screen, how it really fools your brain into thinking that you are going up 50, 60, 70 stories or whatever it is, not having that screen on. You can see sat there without the screen.
The ride.
It's just like, we're not moving.
And just tilting the scoop at a slight angle makes you feel like you're falling. It was absolutely amazing.
And that's why I think that these rides, both Spider-Man and Transformers, are the best dark rides in the world, because they use all the visual tricks and combine it all together to just make it so immersive, that it's so believable, that it's one of those only rides that each time you ride it, you're like, I just feel like I'm part of this. I feel like completely inside this world that they created.
Oh, I need to go and ride it again. It's killing me.
I just need to go and ride anything. It's killing me not getting over there.
Go on then, we'll say it. There's been rumours going around for quite a while that at some point it's going to end up in
We're back
Orlando.
on Transformers here.
Yes.
We're back on Transformers.
Sorry, yes. The Transformers is going to end up in Orlando at some point. And it just... it's going to get the whole comparison thing with the Indiana Jones adventure and Dinosaur, with them being the exact ride system, and everyone says, well, they're the same, but again, it's two separate coasts. Do you think that Transformers and Spider-Man could coexist next to each other?
Okay, that's a great question. I don't think they could sit next to each other. And really, it's only because unless they change a couple of parts at the beginning, but the very first part of Transformers is almost the exact same as Spider-Man,
right.
The way to start out the ride. And it's just, if you ride Spider-Man, and then you ride Transformers, every single person is going to be like, this is Spider-Man at the very beginning before it changes. But I do think Transformers is coming to Universal Orlando. I just personally, I don't think it's going to be that same ride.
Right.
I think that they'll create a whole brand new ride experience, or maybe even a whole new land experience based just on Transformers. But it's just too big of an IP for them. I mean, they're making so much money off of Transformers, and Transformers is so big right now within the industry. I can't see them not doing some kind of Transformers attraction in Orlando in the near future.
Go on then, I've got to ask you, what did you think about the films?
Okay.
Here we go.
All right. So the first film I actually liked. I thought it was funny. I thought it was cute at times. And then the outside of the last 20 minutes where I thought my brain was going to explode, just with all the, there's so much going on, and all these robots, they all kind of look the same. So it's hard to figure out which one is which.
Yep.
But I liked it. I thought it was a fun movie. The second one is amongst the worst films I've ever seen in my entire life. I thought it was horrendous. I thought whoever wrote the script for that film and then the people who allowed that to go ahead should be not shot. I don't want.
Yeah.
We know what you mean.
In a metaphorical speak.
Yeah, and metaphorically, they should shot. It is awful. Lee, you love that movie, huh?
What, the first one? Let's go on to the second one. The second one was horrendous.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
It's all the cheese in it. It's like the bit with John Turturro at the end when he's underneath Devastator. It's like, I am underneath the enemy's scrotum, and it's like, why?
Yeah, so that's Michael Bay. He loves to put these sexual innuendos. I mean, I have fun. I think sexual innuendo and a joke is fun, but don't force it though.
No,
it can't be forced. And they force it. I mean, like when the robot's all over her leg or whatever. I was like, "What? Come on, really? Are you serious?" Or just what's the worst part of that movie that I thought was worse than any part in Crystal Skull, Indiana Jones Crystal Skull, with both Shia LaBeouf moments. By the way, is when Sam dies and goes to robot heaven.
Yeah,
that moment, I can't understand how that was approved. How they said, "Let's do this. Let's have Sam die, send him to robot heaven," and then the god of robots said, "You're not ready to die yet. You need to go back." What the hell was that?
It worked in Harry Potter.
That's okay. See that? But see, that's wizards and witches and all this stuff. I'm cool with that for Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's Shia LaBeouf dying and going to robot heaven.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. It's like the first one. It was all the cheesy little bits. Like, is it Frenzy? When he gets off the airplane on the runway and it's like got his hand up by his face, going as if no one's going to see him. It's like, oh, why, please God, why?
I just wanted a big hammer to crush
when
that little
they take Sam
thing.
back to the house to try and find the glasses, and they're all stomping around the garden.
Yeah.
And but then watching the second one, I quite like the first one now.
Exactly. I think the second one definitely made the first one better. And I tell the truth, I haven't seen the third one. People say it's much better, but I just, after that second one, they took me so far out of it that I just don't want to see the third one just because the second one was so bad.
It's marginally better.
Okay. See, that's, even if it's marginally bad, I don't need to see it because Transformers 2 is still one of the worst films ever.
Just get a bottle of vinegar and squirt it in your eyes instead.
That's sounds
my
like
recommendation.
I do that regularly anyway, so maybe I do like I will say that the Transformers ride is far superior to the movies.
I've got to say, I was just like, yeah, Transformers ride, yeah, whatever, you can keep it. And then I saw this video on YouTube and my jaw was on the floor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we need to ride this.
No, it's outstanding. It really is. It's so much fun. And it's an IP that they will definitely put in other Universal parks. It's a huge hit over in Singapore. It's a huge hit here. they already know it's going to be a huge hit anywhere else that they put it.
Then maybe everybody's got it wrong, and it's not going to be a Harry Potter expansion where Jaws was, and that's what they've put out to put people off, and it's going to be like a Transformers area.
Well, now let's get in rumor talk. Let's get in fanboy talk. Yeah, there's been talks a lot, especially since Steven Spielberg spilled the beans, a year and a half ago or whatever, about a Transformers land coming to Orlando, and then they come back and say, no, he didn't mean that. He meant it's Transformers attraction for Hollywood.
Yeah.
But no, he was specific. He was talking about Orlando, and somewhere in Universal Studios they are going to put some kind of Transformers just because it makes them way too much money. It's people want it, and again, it's a way to give a finger to Disney, saying here's another IP that we can use. So, well, you brought up a great point earlier, though, Lee, about the dinosaur in Indiana Jones and how they can't coexist because they're the same exact ride, just with different scenery and stuff. Yeah, I have to say, I think that those rides can actually coexist better in Walt Disney World than Transformers and Spider-Man, because those parks are right beside each other.
Yeah,
where you have to drive all the way to Epcot, or drive all the way to Disney Hollywood Studios, or drive all the way to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And I think that is, those parks are far enough from each other that maybe people could ride them and not think that this is the same thing, that they can actually coexist, because those parks are, dispersed, where those two Universal parks are almost the same park in a way, because they're right beside each other.
Well, we treat it as one park.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You hop back and forth. You're like, oh, let's go. And you're walking past the Hard Rock Cafe, going right back into Universal Orlando after you're done with Islands of Adventure. So, yeah, that's what we do with those. We hop those parks. It's the same as Disneyland Resort over here in California. You hop between both California Adventure and Disneyland because, you got all these experiences and they're close to each other. That's why that you can't have the two same systems coexisting in those parks either.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
I'm just jabbering right now.
No, it's a good point though, isn't it? Like you say, if the same thing with Dinosaur and that most people tend not to park hop in Disney World, but I know when we go to Universal, we could potentially go from one to the other and back over.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's the thing too, is that you go between those parks so much. Just Disney World. I mean, usually when you go to a park, you don't really hop. I mean, there's no reason to. You're like, I'm just going to spend a whole day here at this park and at Animal Kingdom, and then the next day I'm going to go to Magic Kingdom. And I could see Indiana Jones actually being in Magic Kingdom, because everybody's like, well, I love dinosaurs so much. I wish that they had a dinosaur type ride over here at Magic Kingdom. You could ride it there, and you're not riding the same system that same day. It's different experiences.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's just me.
No, it makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Yeah.
When we first heard the rumours going around about Transformers going to Orlando, we were like, I don't know. And then after watching the video of it, just went, yeah, I'd quite happily have that in there. Even if it is the same, I still think I would go and ride both.
You know what? I think that everybody would be happy if they did put it in there. I think that there's going to be a lot of questions of people saying, wow, this is kind of the same ride as Spider-Man. And I think that if it went to Orlando, I think they have enough media and enough, probably enough creative background, different types of attractions that they worked with Transformers, that they could come out with something new. I would love to see another type of dark ride with Transformers that's maybe a little bit more on the animatronic side or something like that they could, actually make robots and you ride around through those in some way, shape, or form. Maybe do an Indiana Jones version of Transformers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just doing on the show. I love that ride so much. I love the Transformers ride, and I really do hope that Orlando gets some kind of version. I don't know if they should get the same version as Hollywood just because of Spider-Man.
There's quite it seems to be the general consensus when we've spoken to people in the know that Orlando won't see Transformers until whatever takes its course with Disney and the Marvel thing, and then it'll literally be a straight switch out for Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tough to do a straight switch out with Spider-Man because, I mean, the one thing is that, like I said, the screens are massive in the Universal Hollywood attraction and Transformers there. Everything's massive. It's just so big, and there's no way that you could change. You can duplicate that scale onto Spider-Man because Spider-Man, the screens and the rooms and everything is just much smaller. It's a much more compact footprint compared to what they were able to do with Transformers, unless they completely take the top half of it and build a second level.
So even as it is, it wouldn't be tall enough to be able to take those screens.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just everything's just much bigger. If you're talking about I would say, for example, the first screen that you meet up with a Megatron, it's massive. And if I was to compare it to the room that you're in with Doc Ock and Dr. Octopus and Spider-Man, that room is probably 10 times, maybe 15 times bigger with the Megatron version compared to what that Dr. Octopus room is.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it changes things a little bit, doesn't it?
It just sets a scale.
Yeah, I think everyone's just said because it's the same ride system, they automatically assume that one would quite easily replace the other.
Yeah, I just don't see it happen. I mean, they could replace it with Transformers and just do Transformers film in place of Spider-Man, but it would have to be a different type of film.
Yeah,
it couldn't be the same because they can't compress the size into such a smaller screen and smaller room. It just can't happen.
Very interesting.
It's kind of stumped me now, that.
I know when this comes out, anybody who's a proper Universal fanboy will be going, right, that's why they've pulled down Soundstage 44 then, so they can completely rebuild it to the right level to be able to put Transformers in there.
Let's start that rumour here now.
Email you and be like, who's this Doug guy that you brought on the show? This guy just doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. It's going to happen. But it's you guys got me on geek out mode. So
excellent. Do you think we've covered it all there, Doug?
I don't know. I could talk about it all day. I think I geeked out enough for you guys. If there's is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about? I love the Transformers ride. I thought the media event was cool. Like I said, it was kind of, it felt a little weak just because the ride was already open for 5 weeks, but love the ride itself. Anybody who has a chance to go to Universal Hollywood, definitely go over there, ride this ride. It is spectacular.
I've got one last one for you then. I'll put a spoiler warning on it. Give us one cool little thing that you noticed in there, or someone told you that you think is cool that a lot of people probably wouldn't notice unless it was pointed out.
Well, let me point two things. I'll point one thing that's really cool and one thing that's not. Actually, let me do what's not first. The voice of the Transformer you're riding, Evac, is really weak. I mean, I can't believe that they chose somebody who has as monotone and about as non-excited about this attraction as anybody. So his voice is pretty weak. So I wish that you went with somebody who's a little bit more excited as your navigator. One thing that is just fantastic from that ride, there's multiple. They really sell, and I've actually got an argument with this with somebody else before, but I believe that they really sell the slow motion parts. There's only a couple of them. But the one moment where you are racing through the city, Bone Crusher starts coming out at you. You're trying to dodge Bone Crusher, and you're going just at such a huge speed. So, I mean, it's just going so fast. And the moment that you jump up, he pulls out a gun, and it goes in slow motion. You fill in the entire vehicle. It bounces each time that you shoot your gun at Bone Crusher. And then it goes into super fast speed again right after that. Dude, I'm telling you, that's a moment that for me, I got like goosebumps on that moment. It was fantastic.
I've got a big grin on my face just hearing that. That sounds really cool.
Spoilers, people. Got to say, watch out for that moment. You'll feel it. It gets you really excited.
Cool.
I need to ride it. They need it in Orlando. Anybody who's listening from Universal.
Yeah, or if you can't make it to the Universal Hollywood one, if you're closer over to the Singapore Transformers, go to that one. Even though I heard that they're not using the Dolby 3D there, it's just a regular Polaroid.
I never considered that.
Yeah,
is that closer for us, is it, or is it further away?
6 2 3s, I think. No, actually, I think it's further. It's a much longer flight, if I remember rightly.
Yeah,
I'll stick with Hollywood.
Yeah, and I heard Singapore's awesome. Plus, they got a great ride over there called Madagascar. that everybody should try out.
Right.
And, that always helps out our buddy Brent Young on Season Pass, since he was the creative director of that ride. So
cool. That is pretty cool.
It does look good, that one.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah, it does. It looks great. I'm not just hyping it up just because
it really
Parker
does.
made the ride, but it actually looks very, very cool.
It does. Well, thanks very much for coming on to talk to us, Doug. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honour to have you on. So this is your space now.
Here. Really, I am so honoured to be on this show. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Plug your podcast. Floor's yours.
Plug away. All right. SeasonPassPodcast.com. That's where you can find out about the podcast. We're also on iTunes, keyword Season Pass. If you guys want to learn more about the theme park industry, go over there. We've had over 100 guests from the theme park industry on the show to discuss their stories about creating attractions, about and also media who write about these attractions. I always like to say we're kind of like the NPR of theme park podcasts. So if you want to get really nerdy and learn about these rides and the people behind it, go over to SeasonPassPodcast.com.
Definitely. I mean, as a listener, you talk about parks that I'll probably never visit in my lifetime, but it's still fascinating to listen to.
It really is.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And, we call it a theme park podcast, but we also do like amusement parks. We do Six Flags and Cedar Fair stuff too. We just love the entire industry. So, but like I said, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. I love that you're doing a Universal podcast. I think this is something that's been desperately needed. You guys are filling an amazing hole, and keep it up, guys. You guys just do a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you.
She's giggling now because you just made a rude comment.
I love the rude comments.
That's awesome. I was actually thinking about that when I said it too. I was like, this is probably going to go way off. People are going to be like, Tug's talking about filling holes.
But it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, Doug, finally.
Yes.
But we've also got something else planned between us. I kind of mentioned it on the last show, haven't I, Doug, that we're going to have you on to do a little segment we've entitled The Coasters of Universal Orlando, where we'll proper geek out at that point.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. I cannot wait. I love the Coasters of Universal. And by the way, you were asking if I thought that Harry Potter was considered a coaster or not. It is actually a coaster because it's on a coaster track. So
Okay, right. Well, so we'll have to add that one. We haven't ridden it yet, though.
it's all, I mean, it's not really. I mean, it's a dark ride, but it's on a coaster track. So I consider it, hey, it's somewhat of a coaster.
Fair point.
Well, we'll have to have a look at that. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So, until next time, Doug, we'll catch you later.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Take care now.
Doug.
So that will bring to an end the first ever unofficial Universal Hollywood podcast, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Yep, seriously, we hope you enjoyed something a little different, and who knows, we might do it regularly, maybe once a year, so happy 4th of July, guys.
Yep, happy 4th of July when you kicked us Brits out of the country. But we're back. So anyway,
slowly making your way back through the podcast scene.
Yep, so it's ta-ta from me.
Let's see you from me.
And it's good night, Internet, from me, and remember, live the adventure.
That does it for another unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Between shows, we'd love for you to get in touch. So email us with your spews, funny schmitz, comments, questions, and news to podcast@uuopodcast.com. Keep up with what's going on every day by following us on Twitter @UUOPodcast and follow Eric in the Parks @UUOPEric. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/UUOPodcast. Follow us on Instagram and Pinterest @UUOPodcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/UUOPodcast. And don't miss a show by subscribing to us on iTunes, and please leave us a review. Not an Apple user? Then head over to uuopodcast.libsyn.com and subscribe to the feed while you're there. You can also find us on Stitcher Radio and at micepod.com. Come find us on our partner site, micechat.com, join the forums, and say hello. So thanks for listening, and remember, be adventurous.
This has been a MicePod.com presentation.
MiceChat.com